Hey, as your good friends, Rafa Esparza and Dane Grace, we are coming back to you for the second day of ADCC Fight Companionry. Is that a word?
Companion risky?
Companionist?
Companino?
Companions. Anyway, so here's what we're doing for you guys today. We're doing the live stream one more again. Here's the thing.
It's like we never left, is what we're trying to say.
We are very excited to bring you lots of coverage today. The thing that gets me really excited about this is you saw yesterday there was a tease that there's going to be something bigger happening on the mats today. I'd secretly hope that they would maybe do an elevated platform, but then, you've also got to do like 3 different matches simultaneously. So just to give you an idea of what we do see in front of us, you've got Duarte versus Buchecha on one mat. On the second mat, you've got Nicky Rodriguez versus Cyborg. And then on the bottom mat in the semifinals for them is Gordon Ryan versus Lucas Barbosa. And all of these are an astounding 0 scores-wise.
You know what could have fixed that?
What's that?
If they did a fight sport half pipe.
It's just so great. So now that means we're probably going to go into overtime on all of these. Dane, does the overtime stay the same going into these upper rounds for semifinals and finals?
I read the rules and I couldn't find anywhere where it said it changed.
I have read the rules and also question mark.
So the ADCC site isn't the most easy to navigate, shall we say?
What are you talking about?
I'm just saying the 90s never died is what I'm going to say.
Fair.
That, though, I did think I found the link to the...
Cyborg is putting up the X sign. Either he's in Exhibit's crew, or
he gave up drinking.
Yeah, he definitely went straight edge on us right there. Actually, that X sign, when you throw that up in professional wrestling, that means that the wrestler is actually injured.
Oh, really?
Do you know that? So if you ever see somebody on the side, like a referee, throw up this X, that means that they're like, hey, it's legit. However, they now make that into storyline.
You know what? So I don't know where we're going. Oh, wow. Cyborg just lost.
Yep. I think he meant the X was in reference to himself then.
Did he DQ himself?
I think, oh shit, he DQ'd himself.
The rest, all right. I mean,
no, that was a terrible choice. Wait, Nicky Ryan is pointing to his brain. I don't know why.
Is he concussed? I don't. What's the CTE protocol for ADCC?
Everybody has to stop using signals. They're not 100% sure we'll communicate the thing they're doing. Barbosa and Gordon, though. Did Gordon get the sub? No? He ran out of time, but he got the 3 points. Gordon's wrist is also taped up, but there were other questions that I had, one of which was, as I was skewering through the news yesterday, it seemed that there was an update that said Gordon was fighting through food poisoning. So it's nice to know that when you fight food poisoning, they go, can I see your wrist? We'll tape that up.
What if it's what if it's one of those things where the disease actually makes him stronger? Like it's actually mutating his DNA?
Well, that seems the most likely. Okay, so again, as we were kind of alluding to earlier, we're supposed to get some sort of epic next level production a little bit later today. So remains to be seen what that is. I don't know what it is. I don't think you know what it is. But take a drink today if it's lasers and fog. Maybe something's like they're gonna have.
So do you take a drink per laser? Because we may have some bodies on us by the end of the day.
But I also like the idea of like maybe they have a steel cage above that like falls to the ground. Again, we did say that there should be a hologram of Helio Gracie opening up the show. That would be money well spent. Now, according to Seth's update, it is supposed to be $1 million that they spent on this. And I think that has to do with a lot of travel, a lot of putting it together, booking the venue, all the miscellaneous costs, I'm sure, add up. But, okay, just saying. Let me say this. Anyone got the dude from Zelda? Oh, Jack, you clever beast, you. And Craig Jones is already working on a guillotine on Thor, and it is not looking fun for Thor. Now, Craig Jones is even in an even better place where he can continue to work on it. He has to give it up, but he'll take Mount and start working from there. It's very odd we talk about how strong Thor is because Thor, that Craig is able to use this power as well against him. Meanwhile, on a different mat, we've got Vinny Magalhaes versus Garzola, and then Josh Hinger versus Michael Ovitz. Is that the Disney chair former agent dude? Oh, that's not Ovitz.
No.
Oops. Who won Gordon versus Hulk? Gordon did, I believe. Did we see that it was just points though? Right? It was
just
up
points.
by 3. Okay. Because he was working on like a guillotine kind of grip. He just wasn't able to finish it because Barbosa's neck.
Right. Or lack of.
Exactly. Thank you.
So Dennis versus Hinger is a really interesting match because I think that this is a battle of who's stronger because they do similar things, and it's a battle of who's better at the thing that each other, themselves, they, them, the
They themselves.
collective pronoun do. Because Hinger's known as having.
Ooh, Thor is now on the attack. Just might have given up his back to Craig Jones while pursuing a knee bar. And yes, that is true. Now Craig is in with a body lock in, and it's looking real bad for Thor. It looks like Craig is just seconds, and he has gotten the tap. Craig Jones advances to the finals, everybody. I know it's got to be disappointing for Thor, but here's the thing. Thor has continued to make such an impression on a major grappling scene, whereas just a couple months ago, you would look at Thor and you would say, oh man, he's not getting enough love or attention.
You would have literally said who?
Well, fortunately, we are in the know.
Right. No, I mean, then Craig and Lachlan Giles were the two that were hoping to see either in a final or at least go into the latter stages of the tournament because they were a bit of dark horses, but
Sure.
But they're both incredible, and I really like their stories.
Do you see here? There's 2 things that just happened on the exit for one Craig Jones. Number 1 was he went to go fist bump John Danaher has to say, like, still don't touch me.
Yeah.
And the second one was when he went over to the side, he gave the double guns just to be like, hey, mate, look at these. Steroids wish they went here. What's up, Sarah? Man, Thor and Jones, William Kirkwood, I know, dude. It's a bit of a bummer to see how it starts to play out toward the end. But I got to say, Hinger and Denise, it's actually a really good match on paper. So I guess with that match, we're looking to see who is going to take on.
Oh, so
there's a reason I did this, people. I promise you.
So they would take on Jones. The winner of this would take on Jones in the finals.
Correct. This man made his own brackets. Yeah. Give this man some love. Look at this. Do you recognize the fact?
Do not give my handwriting any love.
That's fine. I just want to make sure that people understand. Did you see the brackets that they did have online? When you look at those, I just kept thinking, like, the way that they spaced them out, you just look at it and you go, did they make this for ents? Is this bracket for ents? Is that what it is? Because every time I look at it, I just go, what the fuck, dude? Like, normal people are supposed to be able to read this. I feel like my dad getting a text message and being like, hold on, son, 1 second. Buchecha
So
advance.
the problem was I was looking at them, and then on the site, and then I found the real location of the Declaration of Independence, and I'm like, look, this is a distraction. I've got things to do tomorrow.
Yes.
And I had to make my own.
I want to say thank you, Sarah. You did ask who advanced to between Nikki Rod and Cyborg. That would be Nikki Rod by decision. And thank you, William, for updating us as well. Uzan. Oh, Uzan. Okay. I don't know what that means yet. Maybe it's too early. I'm trying to drink this coffee, yo. And my thanks to the Graces for providing me with the feel that helps me talk in the morning, or at least makes me tolerable. Are we sponsored by them?
No.
Oh, well,
by the Graces? Technically, yes.
No. Well, then fuck these people. Thank you for your fuel unnamed coffee service. It is actually very delicious. I'll say this is my second cup, though. My sister definitely hooked me up this morning and was like, here you go. And I was like, oh, thank you. So we've also got Dante Leon versus Wagner Rocha over on Matt whatever. It's also on the Flow Zone. Just to let you guys know. You know what one of the weirdest parts about the Flow Zone is? They keep going back to the anchor chair. So it looks like they've made Kenny Florian into an old-timey 1960s reporter. So every time they cut back to him...
Next up in the 88 kilogram department. Craig Jones versus John Tar Blank.
If you take those images of him and you put them in black and white,
Grainy
see
film.
if you don't feel the same way of him being like, today a pingo came into town.
The Fifth Estate. The problem is Kenny also dresses hipster enough that
we got to address something real quick though. Wagner is just smiling at an attack on his leg, at a full-on assault by Dante Leon, as he's working to pull him back. Like, it looks methodical in the sense that you'd use when you're just kind of like wrenching on an IKEA couch.
He's like, I'm gonna put this flarm together and then I'm gonna go to in and out.
Oh, you know what the worst part is? I don't like seeing Hinger in this position without him using a guillotine. Like, it just feels not quite right, but he doesn't have the angle to do it. So there is that. Hey, by the way, if you guys are watching this right now, do us a solid. Give us some love. And love comes in many forms. It comes in the form of subscriptions, likes to our page, shares, hearts. I think they like that one too.
Poorly spelled comments.
Well, the poorly spelled comments make me laugh a lot, so I'm all right with that. And then, if you so feel it, subscribe to our YouTube page. You can go on. We're at Grappling Hour on all the major services. So if you don't like us on Periscope and you're watching us there, you can go to YouTube. We're there too, at Grappling Hour. And if you like on Facebook, you can join the party over there. We've got comments coming in. And guess what? We don't just selectively choose our comments. We mostly talk about all of them if they make coherent sense. So, and also thank you to the people on Twitch. We had a lot of people watching us on Twitch yesterday.
Oh, really?
We did. Which, by the way, is still so foreign to me. So I'm going to seem like Old Man River talking about Twitch every single time.
I feel like that's a double victory in so much as A, you're new to Twitch, and B, it's not Fortnite. So
Yes. But I think here's what's happening. I think every person on their platform who may be new to us or a unique user, as they say, is literally going like, where's that free shit? Let me see.
You know what I think might be helping with Twitch, though? Mm-hmm. And this is serious, is you can watch it through your gaming console. Mm-hmm. So I wonder, like for a lot of people, I wonder if their gaming console is also their Blu-ray player. So since it's there.
So just to let you guys know, we will be checking in with our plethora of guests today. We have a number of them, again, for your viewing pleasure. We want to make sure that we're reaching out to them, so I'm actually going to talk to a couple. We also have an update, and Octavia, do we have the little key thing? Can you pass me the little magic maker? Our good friend over, oh yes, we did get a subscription. Yes, this is what I'm supposed to do when I say things on Twitch, right? Like, hey, thanks, Goat314. Can you give me money?
You know what? Is
that how this works?
Those other 1,313 goats, there's not as goat as you.
Let me see here. Somebody just said, hey, boys, just got up in South Oz. Any update on our boy Craig Jones? He is going to the final. A boy from Oz is going to the final. Is he from Oz?
So
is Melbourne the same? I don't know. I don't see it just yet.
Who is it from Australia that's watching?
I can't quite see it on here yet, but I do know it's an option for us.
Australian friend, watch Mat 3 because Craig will fight the winner of Dennis and Hinger. And
yes,
Dennis looks like he's...
I'm sorry, there was a question asking about Vinny Magalesh, and yes, he is on screen number 1, so that is happening at the moment. Thank you very much, Sarah, for your help on doing this. I want to be very clear. So when we said that we've got stuff going on, I'm very excited to share with you guys that our good friends over at School of Grappling actually made some interesting statistics. These are up-to-the-moment statistics. So I'm showing it off of my phone, and I hope that you guys will be able to see this. This is from day 1, okay? Day 1, these are the points scored, and this is through takedowns. Back control was huge. Back control was at, 51? Holy shit. Passing and takedowns were about the same. Sweeps were only coming in at about 8%, whereas Mount and Neon Belly were almost non-existent statistically. So this is what I love. Again, School of Grappling, if you guys aren't following them, puts up charts as soon as possible. This just happened yesterday, and they're already up on it. So we're going to go to our second one, if you guys don't mind. The second one is, these are the submissions. So these are the number of submissions that we saw from yesterday. At number 1 was rear naked choke. Number 2, guillotine. Number 3, armbar, and then inside heel hook with triangle and arm bars just coming in at 1 apiece.
I would wonder how many inside heel hooks there were, because I have noticed dramatically fewer actual leg lock finish or lower body attack finishes.
I've just been very curious as to, like, if you think about it, though, and you see inside heel hook right here, and you think that this is a tournament that is primarily known for its leg attacks. Like, that's what people always say. They're like, oh, man, if I'm training ADCC, you really got to get up on those leg attacks. So I find it super curious that is one. Let's go to our next chart. Again, this is School of Grappling. Please go add them on your social media. This is fascinating information. This is double legs that we're talking about right now. Leading the way for takedowns at 8 yesterday. 8 double legs, 5 single legs, 5 foot sweeps and trips, 4 knee picks, and then 6 were other. So I have a question, Dane.
What's that?
How can I get good at other? Because, like, I don't do those ones really good.
So the classic other is the old banana peel. So
not seen on chart.
So you'll need to be able to fucking like pog it out. The other is the old have a friend sneak behind the person and then push them.
That's my favorite one, honestly.
So I think you and Kevin are gonna have to work on that one. Just saying, if Kevin can do it in one of his fashion outfits.
Oh my God, I would love it.
I think they might give you 3 instead of 2.
Dante Leon versus Wagner Rocha is now at the 2-minute mark-ish and still scoreless, even though it's been pretty interesting to watch them. It's just a little tense between the two of them. Meanwhile, it looks like Mateus Denise is going to advance with a score of 3-0 over Josh Hinger, who, according to many crowd estimates, was the crowd favorite yesterday. I got to tell you this, man. I know we like to give Josh a lot of shit for his podcast or whatever you want to call it, but Josh is a stand-up human being, and, you know, it's so close. But I think it's a true testament to him and his character for the following. This man could easily get invited, but he likes the hunt of actually going in and earning his spot. It's a true wrestler's mentality, and I have a large appreciation for that. So, Josh Hinger, your podcast, you got 1 stripe today. 1 stripe. You're now a 2-stripe white belt, and I couldn't be more proud of you.
Congratulations. Your podcasting armbar from the guard isn't quite as cringy.
Let me see here. Somebody said, this is Ming, it says, any idea when absolute brackets are out? No, they're going to wait until we finish, I think, the majority of this. I think we have like a little intermission break or something, and then they bring those out. And I think that happens in about 3 hours. Don't quote me on that.
Can I comment on that?
Yep.
As someone that likes to prepare and know what they're talking about when they're addressing more than like a person, this last minute bracket bullshit needs to go.
Yeah. I mean, but if you actually learn how they do this more and more, you realize it's just a shit way that they put it together. They like mostly. Craig Jones told us that Mo just found him in the bar and said, "Hey, you want to do absolute?"
I remember that. Yeah.
Like, think about that. Yeah, you did that article. I mean, he told us. I mean, it's just one of those things where I'm like, you know, when people go, "Why did they wait till the last second?" I mean, I would have my absolute figured out. Well, sometimes these athletes are divas, and they're like, "I'm not gonna do an absolute, girl."
But they're also ADC, and they're like, "So you're not doing the absolute, huh?"
We had a note here, and this is Sarah saying, "I love your guard passer tee. Where'd you get it?"
Nogi Industries, so you can get them at Budo Videos or nogiindustries.com.
Look at you selling stuff. Are they giving you a cut of that?
Technically, they do sponsor me.
Like, there is the answer. Just for you guys in curiosity, right now, JT Torres and Gary Tonin are in the semifinals again. Can we get this in a goddamn final? Because I'm done with this shit.
Dude, I was looking at these semis, and I'm like, these are all finals matches.
Yeah. But this, in particular, happened the last time, too. These two individuals are amazing. Are we just trying to get the international flair, and that's why we try to, like, stop off some sort of weird America versus America? Because both of these guys should podium. But the key with this is only one of them can. So now Gary Tonin is trying to lock himself in like a baby with an unwanted mother. So it's just kind of one of those things where he's just trying to attach himself and it's not quite working. But thank you, Sarah. We appreciate you asking. I've got one more chart here from, again, School of Grappling. And this is wins today. So this is a big chart. And I think it's really important that we go over this because a lot of people want to know how it is that most people advance. And the number one here on this chart is by points. Coming in number 2 is a very tight race between submission and decision. So get excited for that. And then 10% with 6 negative point losses is the runner-up in 4th. So that's an interesting set of statistics. Again, School of Grappling is going to, if they get some charts, they have assured us that they will send them to us. But our thanks to them. If you're not following them, go follow them now. They do excellent work. I was so happy that they were willing to send us their charts. And they're like, yeah, dude, they're like, I'm going to make them as fast as I can. And so like 15 minutes before 10 a.m., they go, here you go, dude. And I was like, you're fast, dude. This would take me until next week to put on an Excel sheet.
So the two confirmed finals that I have right now, and I'm working on the under 99 kilogram division. For 88 kilograms, we have Craig Jones versus Mateus Diniz. And then at the the greater than 99 kilogram, we have Nicky Rod versus Buchecha for that final. And I'm going to look up the under 99 kilogram right now. And then we're waiting for JT Torres and Wagner to finish up so we can get the 77. And we just started the 66. And, of course, the women haven't even begun yet. So.
And we are in the process of saying good morning to all of our friends. As you know, we have people who are reporting on each individual category, so we will be touching base with them in a little bit. The action just goes so fast. You're going to have to keep up with us today, friends. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and have our good friend, got a little bit of not a surprise, but I mean, something that's nice to go ahead and pull somebody on. Let me see. Nicky Rod versus Kenyon Durarte. That's awesome. Watching Gary right now. Well, that's why we're talking to you, pal. All's good, and I'm so excited.
So Wagner's still going, persisting with what is clearly the most uncomfortable style to deal with in jiu-jitsu. Literally, I think that people give him opportunities because it's so uncomfortable to be in any static position with him that they're just like, fuck it, let's just get out of here. I'm literally not joking about that either.
That's fair.
Because you'll see him sit in that like center line knee cut position and just hold, and just you see him smiling like, you go. Yeah. No, you go.
It's interesting. This is really a Sophie's choice of things to watch because you do have Wagner Rocha, Dante Leon on one side, Gary Tonin, and JT Torres. Then on another side, you've got the Meow versus the Mendez. Meow Mendez, which is Shawn Mendez's cat, by the way.
Meowndes? I'm going to hell for that one.
Good one.
Was it, though? Was it?
Yesterday, I was quite proud of a couple of my dad jokes, so I'm not going to get there. We actually had somebody request on our, whatchamacallit? Somebody request on
more dad jokes.
our bracketing. They're like, "Can we please get some dad jokes in there?" And I was like, "Yes, we can." So just want to let you know right now we're working on our guests. They should be coming in just in a second. So, ladies and gents, think about this guest. He's somebody we were supposed to bring him on yesterday. Oh, Tanquinho with his own heel hook attempt over on that side. Good for him. We had somebody who was on yesterday. I'm not gonna talk about it. But we had somebody who was basically, he was supposed to come on yesterday. He wasn't able to because he was too busy winning some other shit around the world, which makes me very happy for him. So and then we kind of forgot. But he was doing other things too, so he was busy too, dick. But today we are looking forward to bringing on a gent of the highest degree. And I think right now he messaged on Skype. Yep, left. And I think we're going to pull him on. I like the idea that it's supposed to be coming a surprise to me as well. It's just like, who is coming? I don't know. But yes, we will be pulling on in just a minute our good friend Frank Rosenthal, who is one of the sweetest human beings. He said he's watching Gary Tonin. Well, guess what? The world is watching right now. And then some people are watching us. So the world plus other, if you were making
are we the world plus one? Is that what
we are? Really, we really are. Oh man, Gary Tonin is really trying to hit this sprawl to go ahead and pull down on JT Torres as we wind down with just 1 minute left to go on the clock. I'm really going to want to get Frank's thoughts on Gary Tonin with a playful set here, maybe trying to sneak in that triangle, calling shades of Braulio Estima over here against Andre Galvo. This is why it's so interesting to watch Gary Tonin compete consistently. As you can tell, he's using it maybe as a sacrificial last few seconds to get the leg. JT Torres is just ever so slightly moving his way out of it all. And yet, my friends, it looks like the two of them may be destined for overtime as JT Torres.
I can't help but think this
so
last minute being offensive in the last minute is what's going to sway the referee decision.
It could. I'm not quite sure.
Then again, I don't know the voodoo upon which they judge matches. So
well, it's a difficult beast sometimes. People sometimes they don't even know. They're like, I don't know.
Wagner and Leon just went to decision. We're waiting for that response.
Okay.
So we'll get the first half of the finals bracket.
Okay, ladies and gents, give us just a second. When we get our Skype some coffee, then we're gonna go ahead and be adding in our good friend Senor Frank Rosenthal. That's the sound that the magic makes when it's time. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our good friend Senor Frank Rosenthal. Frank, how you doing, sir?
I'm good, man. Good to be here. How you guys doing?
Very well. So what are your thoughts going on? We're going into overtime with Gary. We're going into overtime with JT. I mean,
Wagner just won in 77 kilo.
You have to be, as a teammate, Team Gary for these 15 minutes at a time when normally you're not. But
yeah, normally I hate his guts. I wish nothing but the worst for him. But right now I'm having a heart attack and my palms are sweating. And I'm just hoping he gets through to the final, man. He put in such a good camp and had such a good day yesterday that I want to see him, cap this thing off.
Can I ask you, what have you seen that has been interesting in this match between the two?
It's a very kind of almost similar match from last year in that JT is like so strong at attacking from the standing position with wrestling. But I think Gary's just more cognizant than he was, in 2017. And he's really fighting through these positions and not only defending JT's takedowns, but countering with some like very interesting, stand up from himself. So, both guys are, they just don't make any unforced errors. And I think you're just seeing them bring out the best in each other, with their offense.
Do you get just a little frustrated that we have to see this in a semi still, like I do?
Yeah, look, like the athletes can't really control the seeds when they come out. And like, as a fan, it's definitely frustrating, right? Because I think everyone would agree that this should be the final, that we're watching the best two guys right now in the semis. But, as an athlete, like, again, you can't control what you can't control. And when the seeds come out, I think they're not really thinking like that. They're just thinking like, we got to fucking do this. We got to win to get to the final. But yeah, I would like to see this as a final rather than a semi for sure.
Well, with that, I'm sorry, Dan, go ahead.
Hey, Frank, I can't help but notice, seeing Gary on the feet and how he's not accepting positions, not that he got bullied before, but I can't help but think his MMA training has kind of contributed to the fact that he's not accepting anything from JT. Would you agree with that?
I would agree 100%. And I think a big thing going into this tournament was people thought that him doing MMA for the last year was going to, result poorly. Oh my God, get up. Was going to result poorly in his grappling, but I think it's only helped. I think it's helped him tremendously in the standing position for sure.
You mean like headlines that say Gary Tonin gets first BJJ win in 2 years?
Yeah, things like that can be a little misleading.
Well, it's just weird because when I saw that headline go up, and no offense, Avery, but when I saw it, I go, "You're not wrong."
Right, but it's also a weird way to frame it, right?
It's kind of one of those things where I go, was he trying to? Like, did he just, like, when you say that, it almost implies, like, Gary was like, well, I'm not getting wins in grappling anymore. I suck.
Yeah.
Oh, the other thing, too, is, like, his training room didn't change, right?
Right.
Like,
someone's like, hey, Gary, do you want to grapple? He's not like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah. If anything, he's just training harder now, than he was when he was just doing jiu-jitsu.
Okay. JT Torres working on just a passing, but almost kind of alluding to a head and arm choke right here. I don't know how
Yeah.
much faith I put in it, but I do seem to think it would be in the mode of trying to set up a back take here. I think that's a little bit more of the MO here.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely not a threatening Kate Gatame, but it's going to force some back exposure, like you
I'm
said.
sorry, what
And
did you call it?
Kate Gatame,
We
we
speak
speak
English here, my friend.
yeah,
This
we
is
speak with
America.
culture at the Henzo Gracie Academy. So
Jesus Christ. I like that you come on and you're just like, well, John Danaher says it's actually a strangle
yeah, it's
because
called a strangle, sweetie.
it's, what a sassy bitch. It's so funny. By the way, I haven't, I don't know if we could cut to this. Give me just 1 second to set it up. You won't see it on your feed, but
All right.
Gordon put this up the other day, and I'm going to have our producer cue it in just a minute. But I haven't figured out what I'm doing with this. Octavia, I'm ready to go when you are. But this footage that we have is of John Danaher just eating popcorn.
Yeah,
And
oh yeah,
I can't, it's hypnotic to me. It literally is a meme I've been trying to figure out what I'm supposed to do with because
yeah,
I've never seen a human being with better, degree form of arm rotation being like, "Hmm." And I could imagine him saying, it's a strangle, sweetie. I love you
it's
so, num nums.
him eating popcorn is exactly what you'd expect it to look like, right?
Well, let's see here.
Do you think he's like saying to himself as he like feeds it into his mouth, like rotational finish?
Yeah, I think yeah, he's got a system of eating
Rotational
popcorn.
finish.
With that, JT Torres is going to advance to the final.
It's a tough one, man.
It's heartbreaking in this.
That's a tough one.
It's
I mean,
heartbreaking in the
hats
sense
off
that
to JT, great kid, and he's a hell of a competitor. But man, it's just a tough way to lose, you know?
yeah. I got to tell you this, man. I really got to make sure that people know this. 2 years ago, Gary Tonin said something really, really stand up about JT Torres. And he said, it was JT's time. And he said, if it wasn't going to be me, I wanted it to be JT. And
Yeah,
I know it's weird that we make sure we cover this when we say
shit.
that Gary was very, very adamant about being like, hey, man, good sportsmanship. I like him. I respect him. He's really good. I'm glad he won. And I knew
Yeah,
when he beat me, he would win. And I get that same impression here where I'm like, that was the final. All due respect to Wagner, I think JT may be very close to another championship.
yeah, I think he's definitely the favorite going into the final. But yeah, I mean, hey, that's the game we play, and that's how it works out. So
Yeah.
best of luck, JT, in the final. I'm definitely pulling for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's talk a little bit about what you did yesterday because I like when I was scheduling these things, a lot of guys, they're not great at scheduling themselves. So
Yeah,
sometimes they say things like, yeah, I'll come on the show. Oh, wait, I forgot it's my daughter's birthday. Like, oopie doopie.
right.
But for you in particular, I thought it was pretty dope because you were trying to make it, even though you were going to a venue. But I want to ask, what was up with yesterday? What were you doing yesterday, sir?
So during the day, I was watching ADCC, and then I had a super fight scheduled last night for promotion out here called Men of War Pro. They're like a local promotion. They do a really good job, like really nice production and everything like that. So I fought for their lightweight title, and luckily I was able to come away with the win. But unfortunately, I missed our little Skype date, so we had to reschedule for today.
Boo, you can never, ever miss me. It's one of
I know.
those things where we'll catch up again, and I was very happy that you were able to find time for today. But one of the reasons why I really wanted you to come on is I wanted you to give your insight for especially, I know you're watching on Pins and Needles with your teammates, so can you tell me a little bit about the overall performances? Obviously, Gordon's still in it. Nikki Rodriguez is a crazy human being who we modified in a laboratory and made a human being. Those sorts of things. So that's what we got going on. So my question to you is, what do we expect next? What's going on?
So for the finals, I mean, I expect. It's funny. I think the semifinals in both Gordon and Nikki Rod's division were similar to Gary's, in that I think whoever won it, you could pretty much expect had a very good chance to win the whole thing. So sometimes like the semifinals are tougher than the finals. So I think both of them, push through the final, and I think their toughest matches, I don't want to say are behind them, but they definitely have a much higher chance of winning in the final. Now that they're through with those tough guys in the semis. Hulk we knew stylistically it was going to be a really tough match, and Gordon got through, and then Cyborg. I mean, that had to have been, in my opinion, maybe the favorite in the division. So now that Nicky Rod got through him, Kynan is no cakewalk, but I mean, I like his chances a lot. So
Yeah, definitely. Frank, I have to excuse myself. You're going to close out with Dane. I will be back a little bit later in the show, but I want to thank you so much for your time before I head on out, my friend. It is great
thanks,
catching up with you. I'm going to hit you up a little bit later, okay?
thank you, sir.
All right. Talk to you later, bud.
Bye.
So, what do you think of Gordon's final?
So I think Gordon's final will be it'll be interesting, man. I think you're going to see him open up a lot, and definitely he's always looking to finish in regulation. So I would predict that he's going to score some type of back take within regulation, and I think he's obviously pretty dangerous from there. That would be my prediction. Obviously, you never know what's going to happen, but if I had to predict, that's what I'm going with.
Yeah, I mean that was one of the things is that I was noting that we're seeing a lot fewer leg attacks from everyone in general. It seemed to be mostly back takes, but I almost want to say, and you don't have to confirm or deny this, but it seemed like the Henzo crew was almost not avoiding leg locks, but not emphasizing those.
Yeah.
Almost to show as if like, yo, that's just part of it. We were doing that because no one was effectively countering them.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, and like we certainly don't avoid leg locks. We still John teaches them just as much as he did, back when in 2015 when they kind of started catching on and people started noticing. But I will say is that the other skill sets that we've developed are starting to kind of shine through because, like you said, like people are a lot better now at defending leg locks, and you can't force anything at the world class level. You have to have a complete game. So I think what you're seeing now is the guy's evolution and Gordon's wrestling and the guard passing and everything like that. And they're just having to use a complete game because the opponents now are so much better. Like leg locks aren't a new trick anymore.
Right.
Everybody knows what's what.
Well, the other thing too, the audience is probably tired of hearing this, but I mentioned this on multiple occasions that this is the first ADCC we've seen since Danaher released his instructionals. And while I'm sure like there's a lot of things that haven't been shown, just the general awareness of what's being done, I think, is generally increased and kind of led to the evolution of things, right?
Yeah, I would agree 100%. But with that is a good thing, we look at that as a good thing because when people are going to adapt to one area of our game that's strong, it means that we have to, make the other areas of our game dangerous as well. So I think it's a good thing for the overall sport, and it's a good thing for our team, just to keep us sharp and keep us developing.
Right, and you mentioned the wrestling, and I noticed in one of the sort of like lead up promos, Nikki and I believe it was Danaher really emphasized the fact that they were working a lot on wrestling, and I know that part of that is because the ADCC prep in the rule set, but I can't help but think that, and you don't have to answer this obviously, but I can't help but think that you guys are working on kind of integrating that into the systems as well, and I think we saw that too.
Yeah, John has always been an advocate, even regardless of ADCC, that you have to be able to to put people down from the standing position. The way that he teaches it to us is like, imagine you're an absolute savage from your guard. Okay, anytime someone puts you on your back, you can leg lock, you can arm lock, you can do triangles, but that's only one direction that you can attack. So at the world class level, like sometimes it's hard to submit people from your back. And
Right.
John's thought process is you have to be able to attack in multiple directions. So guard is considered a backwards direction because you're elevating, you're sliding underneath people, but you also have to be able to attack in a forward direction, by coming up to single legs and putting people down on their ass, so that you can, work on top as well. So I think, obviously it plays a huge role in the ADCC, but regardless of the rule set you're doing, you have to be able to have a multi-directional guard, and attack, both forward and backward. And wrestling is a big part of that.
Right, definitely. Are you watching a match right now?
I am. I'm watching Rotolo versus Kennedy.
I was going to ask you about that. I know a fan favorite. I know I really wanted to see either of these guys versus Nikki. What did you think of Ty and Kennedy's performances?
Man, I mean, Ty, for hell, for a fucking 16-year-old to come
Right.
out and have the tournament he's having, it's definitely like a Cinderella story, and it's incredible to see. Obviously, he's been working for a very long time, and you're starting to see the fruits of his labor pay off. Um, and Kennedy, we all know Kennedy's a stud,
Right.
defending world champion. So, yeah, I mean, both these guys, I think, have the potential to uh, give Meow a very tough run in the final. So we'll
The
see
thing
what
that
goes down.
impressed me with Ty is he seemed to get more composed as the tournament kind of progressed, right? Like you could see
Yeah,
he was a little tentative at first, but now I feel like he's like, oh, it's just like another tournament plus people are trying to take my legs apart.
yeah, I think for sure, like his competitive experience is obviously very deep, but when you get to ADCC, it's something you've never done before.
Right.
So there's a certain element where like, they try to tell you, oh, it's just another tournament, but you get out there and maybe you feel a bit of pressure that you didn't feel when you were at, say, the Worlds or the Pans
Right.
or a different tournament. But yeah, now he seems to have found his rhythm on day two, the end of day one, beginning of day two. And yeah, he looks great. He looks like he's at home out there.
That's great. All right. All right. Well, I'm going to let you go. We've had you on for a bit, but great talking to you. We'll have you on a bit later. And thanks for your comments.
Awesome. Thank you guys.
All right. Take care.
See ya.
So right now we're looking at Kennedy versus Ty to finalize that part of the 66 kilogram final. Um, we have we have Ana Vieira versus Gabby Garcia, and then Elvira versus Tayani. So that will finish out. That will complete out the women's greater than 66 kilogram category and or 60 kilogram category. So we're starting to fill out the brackets here, edging closer to the finals. We've got Tyro Tolo here on a single leg X style Ashigami, so not the inside Senkaku. Arm on the outside, so that means he's looking possibly for a heel hook. Kennedy up, turning over on a leg, and Ties back on the ground on sort of an inside butterfly position. Kennedy really bringing the pressure and scrambles past Ty's guard. Ty bridging, turning to it. There's a possible back take. Yep. So he's got one hook in. Ty's face down. This is a rough position to be in.
Okay. We've got some people who have commented. So, hey, what's up, Elliot Gallo? Hey, can I just say something about my good friend Elliot? This man was supposed to have a fight, and somebody backed out on that fight yesterday, and that's not cool. Although it looks like we've got a legacy about to happen here, people. Rutola looks like he's about to go to sleep if he doesn't tap soon. He's trying to fight it as best he can, but it does look like it is done. And meanwhile, Gabby Garcia is doing Gabby Garcia stuff. However,
Gabby got a gab.
Gabby going to Gab. You got Baby Vieira. You stop that, sir. You should not be allowed to do
probably
that.
not. Probably not.
Oh, man. The next generation of Cobrinian-ness is happening as Kennedy Marcial is going to advance to the finals.
Kennedy 2, Rise of the Kennedy.
Man. That's amazing. Well, we've got some fun surprises for you guys today. I'm very excited to bring on our good friend in just a moment. You may know this gentleman as a bit of a jiu-jitsu beast. I don't. I actually know him as an amazing video game competitor who occasionally grapples. Might have gone to the Arizona Open yesterday and got double gold or triple, or I don't know how many golds they gave him. You know what it is? I think at a certain point when you start winning too much, they just go like, hey, have all of them. Like, isn't that what it is? Like, once you win one, you win 20.
It's like when your birthday's too close to Christmas and you just get one gift.
That's 100% what it is. But yes, we are in that place of about to bringing on a gentleman of mega statured. This guy, I don't know why he's calling this early, though. This is why it's so weird, because you know how like we assign people certain jobs? We said, hey, you're in charge of this weight category, or you're in charge of this, or you're in charge of that. I told this dude that I was like, Jake, you're kind of in charge of a weight category that's not up yet, dude. So Why are you trying to call us right now?
Just sitting there seething. The world needs to hear my voice.
No, I mean it's weird because I was like, yo, dude, hey man, yeah, I think we'll talk to you like later half of the day. So it's only slightly confusing that he would be trying to reach out right now. I don't know. We'll find out that. But let's take a couple of your questions real quick. Elliot Agayo, man, I look forward to training with you, buddy. Yeah, why are you calling now? Okay, sure, bring him on. Ladies and gentlemen, here for whatever reason, I'm not quite sure, is one Jake Watson. Jake, what are you doing?
Watching ADCC, talking to I'm on the Grappling Hour. That's what I'm doing right now.
I know where I am.
I'm doing the same thing as you.
Concussion test yet, but should it be? Jake, why are you in a suit?
Because I'm tired. I really want to be fancy. I know that some people just kind of wear board shorts and jiu-jitsu t-shirts all the time, which is what I was wearing earlier. But I figured let's spice it up a little bit. Let's
okay,
let's
but
put a
you're
suit
not
on.
like Kenny Florian on Flow Grappling, sir. Like, how dare you?
Just out
How
of
dare
curiosity,
me?
are you wearing board shorts on the bottom? Is this like a jacket and suit only?
No, I'm just not shoes.
No, Jake.
I'm not the only one thinking
Listen,
this.
Jake. Oh God.
I'm just not. I'm wearing pants, but I'm not wearing shoes.
No, I get it. We got a real Donald Duck situation here, everybody. Listen, Jake.
Look, as long as you didn't go Winnie the Pooh, it's fine.
Jake, why are you here right now? Like, you're in charge of the Absolute. It's not time for the Absolute yet.
So I put on a suit and called you for nothing.
No,
that-
God.
I know
You're
the
in
Absolute is not
charge
now.
of the Absolute weight category. I didn't say put on a suit, Jake.
So the Absolute's not now. So am I not supposed? Am I leaving? Are you gonna kick me off the show now?
No. You're on the air, so I might as well make use of you in some way. So,
Oh.
what have you? Do you have anybody that you got eyes on for the Absolute, dog?
Well, Gordon Ryan, obviously. But okay, so let me real quick before I continue. I have a question. Let's say Nick Rodriguez and Gordon Ryan meet. They're teammates. Are they supposed? They're not allowed to just bow out in ADCC, right? It's not allowed to happen.
No, they gotta get that fight on.
That'll be super interesting if that happens, because Nick is on a tear. I was at the Phoenix Open yesterday all day, and all I could see whenever I opened my phone was how much he was like He destroyed Ali and then Abreu, and now he's in the finals, and he'd be
I'm
fighting.
thinking mysteriously convenient flying triangle.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a bold one. That is
The absurdity of you be like, whoa, that's bold.
I like that you verped a little bit. You're like, what?
Jake,
well. It's just
I want to make sure that the people know why you weren't around yesterday. Why weren't you around, sir?
I was busy getting double gold at the Phoenix Open.
Well, congratulations. Everybody gets a double gold.
So do
right
they
there when
actually
they
give
go,
you
so
2
that's
golds,
fine.
or is it like when your birthday? Oh, they do.
Oh, boo. He has the golds on.
I can't see you, but you could see me.
Yeah, no, which
That's-
makes it all the more hilarious why you're like, well, can't see you or your reactions, but double gold. Look at these.
I just assume you're consistently flipping me off the entire stream.
No.
Except
I would never
that's
flip you
like-
off. I think that's a mean thing to do, and that's really not.
He's
my
actually
forte.
eating a donut with both middle fingers.
It is, it actually takes a little bit of people to being like, I can't see. What are you doing, Raph? And I was like, that's none of your business. Don't you
Just
worry
feel.
about that.
Just feel. No words. No. Just keep your eyes closed.
So Jake, okay. You mentioned Gordon, you mentioned Nicky Rod. Do you have anybody else that you have eyes on for the Absolute? Because there's got to be 16 people in there.
Kynan. I have firm belief that Kynan can literally beat anybody in that bracket. He grapples so smart, and I've grappled him before. He's like just locks you down, and he makes it so that it's very hard for you to grapple while he can do what he wants. You saw him against Boucher. He was super smart. He only did as much as he needed to in certain situations, and he looked like he was like matching the strength of the guy who everybody says is like the strongest dude ever. So for me, I think that I predict Kynan's going to win the Absolute. That's my prediction. That's my prediction right now.
Interesting. Okay.
I think he'll beat Gordon too.
Interesting. Look at these hot takes that you're bringing to this broadcast.
That's my prediction. If it's wrong, then I'll get made fun of anyway. So
That is true.
If it's wrong,
Exactly.
I'm in a suit, guys.
yeah,
I like the
if
idea
it's,
of being like,
I'm
if
not
it's-
10 flow.
If it's wrong, I didn't put it out on the internet, so oops, no big.
Sorry, the internet is a forgiving place. They'll forget it soon.
Yes. So, Jake, I've got some information to tell you.
Gotcha.
The Absolute's a few hours away, so we'll probably check in with you in a little bit. But you have a heavy burden ahead of you, my friend.
Fionn Davies on an armbar on Queen Bia. Oh, dang. Our in-studio office is screaming.
Bia is bending in ways that should not be okay, and yet it looked like for a split second she tapped, but I think she was just getting a grip. She is not tapping right now, and Fionn is just about to break the arm, but is losing maybe just a little bit of the grip. There's
back.
not looking like there's a tape.
Oh my gosh!
And the arm
I
is
did not see
okay,
that coming.
everybody. Oh God! I want to meme
goodness.
Jake's face when I get the chance to do that later. And
Speaking of burping,
Wow. I wish I knew that it was on Flow Zone and not on Mat 1, 2, or 3. I was like, I tuned in right as the
that's why we call it the bro zone layer.
I tuned it in as soon as like Bia tapped. I was like, oh my. That was my whole reaction. Was
Please
just,
don't show that highlight. Whatever you do, don't show that. Yes, go to
Hey,
Kenny
guy in
Florian.
a suit.
Cue to Kenny Florian is wiping his mouth with a napkin. Oh God!
Yeah, the thing is, Jake, I think we always have to make you our Kenny Florian. So I need you to kind of start your segments with things like
step
news
one
of the world.
Step one: marry a model. Go.
Oh God, no, it's happening again. They're showing it. Oh, it's a snuff film. No, make the footage stop. No, I think I saw that I was right. I think she was trying to tap there, and I think she was trying to tough it out, and then she went through more and.
Oh my God!
Why would you make us watch that?
My elbow surgery needs surgery.
Oh, and she
Okay,
wrapped the
so
Kimura
let's
grip
take a
around the
moment.
armbar.
Congratulations, Fionn Davies. It's a lot to take in. Our initial reactions are one of shock and horror, but they're the good for you. They're the of concern for Bia's arm. R.I.P. So,
Yeah, for sure.
Gabby gabbed.
Gabby Gab on the top, advancing. Because I don't know, man. I feel like Gabby should just be able to bring a coupon that she just goes, hey, yep, you just advance me. You know it. I know it. I'll see you in the finals. Okay. Bye, everybody.
And Karina Santi progresses past Toyani.
Yes.
So it's a Gabi, Karina.
All right, Jake, here's what we're going to do. We're going to break for right now with you,
Okay.
but we're going to expect you to come back in a little bit. Keep a stern eye on these finals so that we have you. We entrusted you with the absolute category because we believe your analysis to be astute. And even as I hear it, I actually hear suit more and more now that you're wearing one. Yes.
It's just the
Watch me come back, and I'm just not going to have the suit on.
You know what it is? When you come back, just loosen the tie a little bit so that way you get that hey, everybody, I've been doing this for a while.
Go the morning after Rat Pack.
Or do what fat people do like myself, where I'm like, oh, yeah, I loosened this tie.
Do the 3 hours
I'm a
into the
chill
bachelor
person.
party.
Bianca versus Elvira.
In
right
actuality, I'm too fat and my neck can't support it. So, gotta loosen the tie. Don't agree with that. No one's asking for audience participation, Mike John. Anyway.
I'll think about loosening the tie. We'll see.
Jesus. All right. Well, Jake, we very much appreciate you dropping in. We'll see you in a little bit, buddy.
I'm going to do some note-taking on the absolute right now.
Can you open that notebook and show us if you've written in it?
No, I've done. I've written. This is actually an old high school notebook, so it's just got math problems in it. But I'm gonna write down some.
Literally
jiu-jitsu
all
stuff.
So boring.
Literally.
What a nerd.
I was in high school like 4 years.
Nerd. Got him.
Whatever, dude. Whatever, Rafa Esparza. Like you know math. What? I'm just kidding.
Pretty good at math, kid.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have a notebook full of problems for you.
If only solve for X, Raph.
Let's see if you can get me my GED.
This
What's the quadratic equation?
Watson is the Riddler. Sir, we'll see you in a little bit, my man.
All right, I'll see you soon. Thank
Peace.
you.
It's kind of mean to pick on him and then you remember he could kill me. And then I'm just like, whatever.
Words are the only weapons I have.
They are the best weapons, though. It's how I've not gotten beaten up for a long time.
You may injure my elbow, but I'll injure your soul.
Yes. Speaking of which, there's a gentleman here who, Dana, I'm going to have you switch out for just a second. Let me see here. B's probably have to forfeit that bronze medal match. Yes, probably. Not just probably, but
Medically.
youch. Although, you know what though? Bia could actually like, you know, make her way out and just still be like, I want to do it. But let's go ahead and welcome our guest right now. This is a man who's in studio with us. Sometimes he looks like a Walmart version of a Mario brother, but the Hispanic version. Sometimes.
Still Mario though.
Yeah, well, the hard part is with Casey Halstead, you can't really make too many Mario jokes without it being like, no, that's the source. But he is a gent of the 10th planet nature, a brown belt, a decent person. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome onto today's show, Senor Michael John. Mike, just climb over. Just, like every person that has to do this is like, you mean I have to do athletic things over?
I gotta stand up and keep my head on.
You can put these on.
Oh, thanks.
So that way you can hear things. Michael John.
Oh, it's way better.
Isn't this cool?
Yeah, this is like,
You like this?
our own little talk.
Our own little talk that we're sharing with tons and tons of people.
Oh yeah. Them
So here's a fun fact. It's hard to match Michael John up with people for super fights. You were so game. You were like, dog, I want to have a super fight.
I'm always down to compete. Always down to get better. These super fights are like double XP for your experience.
For you people on Twitch, that one's just for you guys.
Yeah.
So we were thinking, we're like, well, I really don't have a super fight for you. And then maybe not anybody who I thought would be like a good match, because I thought a couple people who did volunteer you might walk through.
Yeah.
No offense to people.
No, it's cool. I mean, yeah.
But I was like, you still are game for most nonsense, right?
Yeah, all the nonsense in the world, I'm the most game for. Nonsense is usually a lot of fun.
So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make sure we double bag this recording so that way people know what's going on. I want to make it pretty clear. All right, I'm going to go ahead and do it like this.
Yeah.
Hello, Internet. This is Rafa Sparza. We're over at GFT Orange. I'm joined by one Michael John.
What's up?
So we're watching, we're actually on air right now, the ADCC for our fight companion. And I was just wondering, I was like, yo, if somebody wants to come to GFT in the next hour, we got $50 if somebody beats Michael John.
Yeah, all you gotta do is tap me. It's really easy.
And then if he taps you, like, you'll give him $50.
Yeah.
But, like, we just wanted to see if you guys would be up for it.
See if anybody's down to just come, it's like an open mat with this would be a little more in line, like a little bit of money, but it's just fun.
And I had said that we should have told the folks over at the open mat.
At Costa Mesa, yeah.
Who do you think would have taken you up on that?
A lot of people. I think Tamim. I think Edmund. I think there's a lot of guys like, you know what? I want to pay for my lunch today. I want some easy rolls. I'm gonna go get that $50 real quick.
It's not an easy roll, but if you guys are so interested, you have until what time is it right now, Octavio? Let's say 1 p.m.
1 p.m. Yeah.
All right, there we go. We'll see you guys soon. Cool. All right. So let's see. What did you think of when I pitched the idea of having a bounty on your head?
I kind of got a little bit excited, honestly. It was kind of like, it's kind of exciting. It's like, oh, someone's gonna come here and think they can tap me. It's really cool because, like, as a decent competitor, I feel like I pride myself in my defense, and it's like I feel like it'd be a lot of fun to have someone come in and just chase me.
Well, like the idea was okay. So one of the ideas I was gonna pitch at people, because we had people who said that they were gonna come do interviews in studio, who were at the event, who were kind of like. I mean, you're like a mile further than I'd want to go.
Yeah, 7 minutes out of the way.
And I honestly thought about this, and I was like, it could be fun. We call it Second Chance Theater, and we would have put up the money on me, where people could have tried to submit me.
Honestly, when you told me, I was like, maybe I think you'd be the bigger bait, because I think maybe you're the bait to get him in here, and then.
But the problem that most people don't know about that is that. I don't know that they would come to submit me where they'd be like, hey, listen, can we do this on Monday? And I'd be like, no, it's conditional to today.
Yeah, to today or nothing. There's
so
no
I knew
tomorrow.
There was like two options on it. The first option would be that no one shows up for it because they're like, I do it all the time. Or that multiple people are here and I'm like, I'm not a cash register.
Oh,
guys.
yeah, there's like 12 people lined up just waiting to wreck house. And you're just like, oh my God, finally.
You see people be like, ooh, I was been waiting for this.
They're doing sprints on the mats, they're doing the proper warm-ups, they're doing dynamic warm-ups. Yeah, they're getting ready.
But see, the reason why I know that I could give you this nonsensical thing, what are you doing?
Taking off my sweatshirt.
No. It's a little hot. Jesus Christ. What is this? Do you have a?
Oh,
Are you branding a shirt?
Oh yeah, it's just my my new CBD sponsor, Our Life CBD.
So, what a did you think of the branding before you got in?
No, I kind of just happened to just be wearing this.
Okay, but you decided. Were you actually hot, or did you just decide?
Oh no, I was actually hot. Like my
Oh, okay.
I'm a little sweaty kind of thing.
Okay, because I was just like, it was a real convenient, like, oh man, my shirt.
Oh my god, look.
Oh god.
Speaking, it's kind of yeah.
Yeah, but I came in wearing
I
this.
said I came in wearing this too.
Yeah, except you had to do a reveal. I didn't show him and be like, oh, excuse, what is this shirt I'm wearing, everybody?
Oh,
It's
God.
available at
CBD.
verbaltapcast.com
Yeah,
or even at grapplinghour.com. If you go on shop, go there, you can pick up one of these.
Does anybody have those?
Well, the other reason why I ask is because the in fashion style here at this tournament is to go without a shirt.
Yeah, I saw Nick Rodriguez doing that. I saw Augusto Mendez do that. I saw a bunch of people do that.
A lot of people do it.
Yeah.
And a lot of them do it so that they have the strategic advantage
Slippery as
of
hell.
being slippery as hell.
I am a big fan of short sleeve rash guards. I do not enjoy wearing long sleeve rash guards, especially with EBI overtime in play.
But it's always funny because, like, I think you see it a lot at 10th Planets, especially because of sometimes you have a very hot studio. But, like, the minute training is over, everybody's like, oh, God, release me from this thing.
Sticky rash guards.
But it's like, you can tell someone trains 10th Planet because you'll, like, literally turn around and you'll be like, oh, the rash guard's already done.
Yeah.
Okay.
That sticky mess that's glued to my body is finally coming off.
But that's why
I can't breathe.
we have jokingly over the years referred to it as ADCC style.
ADCC.
Which is why.
Remember the brown belt battle where who would it? Kevin Melendez.
Kevin Melendez.
ADCC style. I think you kind of rated him a little bit.
Oh, I gave him shit for it,
Yeah.
and I enjoy telling him about it because the hard part is people do have to train for it for MMA fights.
Yeah.
And the weird part is in our grappling world, people go, "Oh, you can fight like that, but you can't grapple like that." And I'm like, "What is it that different though?"
It's really weird because at the highest levels, it's totally acceptable. But if you do it, at like sub fighter, it's like, what's this guy doing?
He's
Kind
like,
of
whoa, Jim.
Yeah.
Nobody asked for that.
That is kind of different. Maybe it's an ego thing. I don't know. But I feel like it should be okay at all times, honestly.
I don't really care. We had people at our tournaments that would ask, or like, "Can I do this?" And I go, "I do what you want, dude."
Yeah, do what you want.
Like, and the weird part is, I'm like, I'm not here to tell you how to compete, but if it means you're going to give a better match, and statistically you've shown or you do these things, do whatever you want, dude.
If the best version of yourself is going to come out doing that, do it.
Sure, dude. I mean, whatever gives me good TV, I don't really care. But on the same side, just looking at it, it is funny. So yes, that's why at first I was just like, when you do that, I was like, is it the end of the day? Like, it's literally the end of training kind of thing. To be like, hey, oh, what's up, everybody? Yeah, I just wanted to show you real quick.
Oh, believe me, I was the first one last night. Oh, we're done, thank God. Took my rash guard off and changed. I'm like, we're gonna get out of here.
I gave Nate Harris shit because he's a huge proponent of no shirts.
Hey, he's got that six pack,
Yeah,
if
he looks
you got
good,
it,
man.
use it, man.
And he comes from that storyline of being like, yo, fat ones, wham, wham, wham.
Hey, I'm right. That was right there too, actually.
How much were you?
I was 200 pounds after high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's not like fat.
I mean, I'm 5'5", dude.
No, I know. But like, did you have to like?
My pants when I was little used to say husky. Like I'd be
not
like,
that
I'd be like,
fat.
Nana, why do my pants say husky? It means they
So
fit better,
sad.
mijo. It means they fit better.
Why is
She'd have to
this
like, like, it's okay. It's not that big a deal.
So what we thought is, okay, let's say that nobody takes us up on this today. Okay.
Highly likely.
Very possible.
Yeah.
I want you, while we're here, to keep a stern eye on what's happening on the matches. Because you may be able to, we have these mats over here, we might as well use them.
Yeah.
We have the ability to break down some of these things.
Oh.
So if you see something that you would like to break down with our team here, we'd be happy to demonstrate it because, again, we can't show their footage.
Right. Yeah.
So,
They might get mad.
well, they might also get mad with their lawyers.
Yeah, it's a little,
So-
a little different.
It's a little different. But I would like to say this, just so that people know, we have not shown one single frame from their telecast.
Not even that nasty.
Hold on, wait,
replay.
hold on. Yep, we haven't even shown a photo from it. I know that Kevin showed fashion sense of people wearing stuff, but he printed them out and showed us to the. You know what's funny? I told Kevin, I said, hey, when you're doing your fashion correspondent bit, you can just send us the photos. We can overlay them in. And Kevin was like, no, I will print them out. And I go, or that. Yeah, that works because nothing says visual medium like a 1996 dot matrix printer.
Sounds like 2004.
So anyway, that's what I think we're gonna do. Is today we're gonna have you keep a stern eye on everything that is happening. I'm gonna put this up on our social media, and let's see who bites.
All right.
And do you have any fears? Is like somebody you wouldn't want to grapple with though?
No, not
Because that's why I knew this bit would succeed with you. Because I know that if it were me fully, there would be a like, oh, check the warranty. Buchecha, what are you doing
Yeah,
here?
what are you doing here? No, that'd be awesome. I mean, we could smash in a minute.
You know what? I would
that'd be
actually
awesome.
do that. That's not true.
That'd be awesome.
I like to say that I'm afraid of everybody, but I will train with just about anybody.
I mean,
don't
just the
think
feel you get off that guy when he just grabs you, it's like, oh, I thought maybe I absorb some of his powers. I don't know.
okay, but just phrasing it first. Just to feel that guy, man.
Absorb some of his.
Yeah,
his,
no.
his-
You saved it with just absorb his power. It's just like, man, that guy, Buchecha. I just want him to hold me, man.
Just fanboying hard, you know? Just fanboying or fangirling, whatever you want to call it.
Buchecha, man, like just give me a hug, dude,
Yeah.
man.
Just pass my guard, please.
Also, never let go.
Ever.
So
Steamroll me.
here's what's gonna happen. Is I want you guys, if you don't mind, to go ahead and take over and just do a little bit of the play-by-play over here. I'm going to be right back, folks. The gentlemen here are going to handle some business. I'm going to put this up on our social media.
No,
I'm going to be
don't.
RB. Dane, come on in.
Tag me in, bro.
Tag. It's like Elvira and Bianca in first round OT, it looks like.
So this is actually the last of this.
Huh? Oh, she pulled guard. Oh, she got a negative too. Dang. I mean, it's only worth it if you can somehow get the sweep or get the submission. Oh. Yeah, I saw Gordon Ryan do it like at like the 6 second, like before the point start, he pulled guard. I thought it was pretty smart because then he's already down there, you know.
I wonder if they have like calls like football. They're all Statue of Liberty. And he pulls guard.
Yeah, yeah. Red, white, blue. Honey Hole's, or I'm sorry, 10th Planet's got some really cool, interesting names. Honey Hole, you know, Crackhead Control, Magala.
It was funny. People like to talk trash on 10 Planet's names for things, and I'm like, yeah, but no one bats an eye when a Brazilian starts speaking Portuguese so that the English language opponent can't understand what they're coaching them for.
Language barrier.
Yeah.
It's true. And that's
So you
kind of
either
the
have-
same thing.
So you either have one or you create one, right?
Yeah. No, I like the 10 Planets. It's a little funnier too, kind of thing like that. Just Honey Hole.
Right.
Pretty ridiculous. Or
And
Honey
then
Stick.
that name specifically makes your opponent uncomfortable. They're like, what?
Yeah.
I
What?
don't.
She has me in Honey Hole.
Stranger
What?
danger. I need an adult.
Or like a Crackhead Control or something like
That one just makes me want to take a shower.
that. Yeah. If it's like.
I need a course of antibiotics. Can I get a Z-Pack up in here?
Yeah, I don't want any crackheads controlling me.
If I have one rule.
Never let a crackhead control you. Actually, for my one major rule for grappling is don't let anybody ever touch your head. Ever. Like, no good ever comes from that.
It's true.
Oh.
Mine was don't let them fingers go in your mouth, but I think I
Ooh,
might
that
expand it to the head
Ooh, on that toe hold.
because it kind of encompasses that.
Yeah. But the fingers and mouth is pretty important too. You know, you don't want to eat no fingers.
I'm just saying, if ringworm on the outside is bad,
Ooh, imagine from like the stomach with the growth you'll get.
I've never seen oral ringworm before.
I can only. I think I saw it on Google one time as like a high schooler googling stuff like
Guys,
that.
do not search that.
Yeah,
do
so
not.
it was-
That's gonna get you on a list.
I was
You're not
13.
gonna be able to fly.
It was like I was trying to get in like the behind the firewall of the school, googling oral ringworm.
And they allowed it. Weird.
Yeah, no, it was really weird. You could find really weird stuff like ooh, not bad. So it looks like Bianca's just got to last these last 42 seconds, and she's pretty much beat Elvira, which I hope not because I'm on a big 10 Planet. Okay.
Yeah. It's a little strange because Bianca's known for strong forward pressure, strong top pressure, and we're not exactly seeing it here.
She's backpedaling a lot.
Yeah. And the charitable side of me wants to say that's because of fatigue. The
Strategic.
the statistician in me says that's because you're winning.
You're winning 2-0. Your opponent's down 2-0. So yeah. You know, so you got to make smart choices to get to the next round. This is everything,
Especially at this level, especially when this is your one payday, right?
and it comes once every 2 years.
Right. Well, that's like everything with Keenan, the whole pink eye outbreak. Can you imagine that? You're just getting ready for this 2-year run and week before.
Who else got it? Was it just Keenan?
Apparently, a couple other people got it,
Only.
but he's the one that seemed to got it last, and it got the worst.
Oh, that's terrible. That sucks.
So everyone else could kind of recover.
I'm a big. I love Keenan. He's an awesome. I listen to him. Seen his Keenan Online stuff. He's got a really cool podcast with him and Josh Hinger.
Oh, Matt Byrne?
Yeah, that one's pretty interesting. I like that a lot.
I like that for the behind the scenes stories.
Raft. Just no.
White belt 2-stripe podcaster.
Ooh.
He got a second stripe today when Hinger won.
How did Hinger do? I haven't seen anything. Okay, never mind. Sorry.
Well, he did great. It's just he's not going to the final.
Okay, for sure. He's a headlocker.
I mean, but it was against Matthias Dennis.
Yeah, that was a rematch, right?
Yeah, from Kasai, right?
Kasai, I think he was looking to get his revenge, but I guess not. Sorry.
It's just a really interesting stylistic matchup because it's like whoever does what they do better on that day, right?
Are they both primarily like headlockers kind of thing?
Headlockers and takedown artists and forward pressure, like strong forward pressure.
That's the kind of stuff that I like. That kind of stuff where you can really break your person kind of with that forward pressure and make them just make bad decisions and give you up something. I love that, and it's entertaining too.
I mean, and we saw that. Who did Hinger guillotine? Adam Virginski, and that's what you saw is Adam was playing that kind of like low knee shield, like grapevine half guard, and as soon as Hinger got past, he was swinging for a Darce, and Adam tried to go, I think, both knees down to get out of the Darce, and he just wrapped that Hinger team, and that was it. And that's Hinger, right? Put so much pressure that they make that one mistake, and then done.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. He's just crushing people with that chin strap control. He always talks about chin strap control, just how important it is, and it kind of leads to everything. Kind of, it's like you can use it to threaten to pass, like a submission passing kind of style, which I love in general.
Well, I mean, even from the feet, right, from takedowns, it's a lot of like that snap down sets up a lot in wrestling.
Ooh, I saw Nick Rodriguez do this too. I think it was Ali and Cyborg. He'd go for like a double, almost like a tie clinch on people like that. It was really interesting. He was like almost like a 10 finger, almost like an aspect kind of thing like that. And it was, I used it last night when I was training. It was awesome. It was a good way to break people down. I loved it. Because this is like, you see everyone's best tricks here because this is the spot. So like I love watching just to
that thing they have in their back pocket their whole time. They're like, guess what?
Guess what? It's coming out now because there's no better time.
This is obviously not a strength thing when Nikki like kind of ragdolled Gordon with a one-hand collar tie. Like you saw him just step back and turn, and Orlando Sanchez had to take a couple steps to catch up. I was like, holy crap. Yeah. He's got that heavy collar tie. But it's obviously a technique thing because Orlando had like 100 pounds on Nikki.
Yeah.
So, all right, just to review the finals that we know of for the 66 kilogram, I didn't catch who won between Miao and Mendez, but they'll face Kennedy. For the 77 kilogram, it'll be JT Torres versus Wagner Hosha, which is going to be a great match. For the 88 kilogram, it's going to be Craig Jones versus Mateus Dennis, which is going to be a rematch. Under 99 kilogram is going to be Vinicius Gazzola versus Gordon Ryan. And for the greater than 99 kilogram, it will be Nicky Ryan versus Buchecha, which is going to be insane.
I think Nicky Rodriguez.
Or Nicky Rodriguez, sorry. It's the NR.
I was like, yeah, that would be insane. Almeida versus Nicky Ryan, that would be crazy.
Literally never to be seen. And then for the women under 60 kilograms, it'll be Bianca Basilio versus Fionn Davies. And for the female greater than 60 kilogram, it'll be Gabby versus Karina Santi. So,
Gabby Garcia, man, that's a tough role.
The thing is with Gabby, like, yeah, she has her size, but then you'll see her do things. You'll see her cut. You'll see her from her back, and she actually has a guard and whatnot. And you have to think, because she's from Alianza, she's had, all of the killers, the heavyweight killers at Alianza to train with, like the men. So she's got to be able to deliver, right?
No, for sure. She's in there putting rounds in with men her size. I mean, it's obviously men are a little bit stronger than girls, kind of thing like that. But like, she's got to use that technique still to overcome that strength,
Right.
So I imagine this has got to be somewhat of a breeze for her, kind of thing.
We'll see. I mean, who was it yesterday? Not Baby Vera, not Anna Vera, but whoever her first match was, they gave her trouble. They put her on. They almost got her in like a ippon, like a lateral drop throw,
like a judo kind of throw. Ippon to Nagi kind of thing. 100%. Nice.
So, I mean,
those different martial arts, man. Judo's insane, man. If I can throw you directly on your back and slam on your back, let's take the wind out of you. That's gonna hurt.
Right. Well, I mean, and the thing about judo is like the counter throws, right, are the big one where like a lot of times when people think they're safe on a single, and if you have someone with like a really good Uchimata game,
Yeah.
because I've been put on, I've never been put on my back with that before. I'm just saying theoretically, I've been put on my back with that before.
This would never happen, but just in case.
Just saying theoretically if it did.
Yeah. No, it's like sometimes when people they do drills on me, it's like, no, imagine this could ever happen, and they mount me real quick.
Yeah.
This would never happen in real life. But
when I'm teaching, my favorite thing to go is like, okay, so if you don't do this, this will happen. Don't ask me how I know.
Yeah, don't ask me how I know. Only from experience, possibly a negative experience, to turn into a positive experience.
But never in competition except that one time. Now, anyway.
Yeah, that's how I feel whenever I go against Keith. Man, he just destroys me. Every competition, in the room.
I talked to someone, I'll tell you that later, but they were like, yeah, when we train, he fucks me up.
Dude, he's in the room. He just does not tap. He's always going. He's always the last person on the mats. And like this is like consistent too. For years, he's always been the last person on the mats. Open mat, always the last person. He used to run to Fullerton when he didn't have a car. Like he went to Cal State Fullerton. His car broke down. He would run to the gym, train, and then run back home. I was just like, dude, I would watch YouTube and just drill on my own.
Yeah, right.
I was just like, I guess I'm not going to the gym. Like, what?
I would have a full notebook.
Yeah, he's just crazy, man. Like, he is definitely very inspiring. He opens the door of opportunity for all of us around him. He's just incredible. I'm glad he's with us.
Does he do much staying in his zone, or is he one of those freak athletes where he just absorbs the?
He trains a lot, and I think that his biggest thing is his ability to just evaluate himself.
Oh, really? That introspection?
Yeah, he's incredible to evaluate himself and getting better, kind of thing. And he's had so many matches too throughout the past couple of years, so I think he's just got so much footage and material to just keep getting better off of.
The one thing else, I mean, and I've been quote unquote following him since he was a purple belt, is he seems to be more composed
Recently?
Yeah, like when he was a purple belt, you could tell it was just athleticism, and the kid's good. Yeah. But like I saw him this ADCC, and you could tell he's thinking about what he's doing. You know, he's not that he never thought, but you can tell he's planning things out, and he's kind of reacting intellectually as opposed to just flip out and I'm awesome and this is gonna work.
I'm gonna create this big jumble of movements and get to where I want. And just kinda, You know, I think he's much more polished now. In the past 2 years, he'll do it because I think he had over like 100 matches last year. I think at some point, I think he on his best he had like 77 straight wins. That's pretty incredible. You know, like even in grappling, you know, that's not easy. In wrestling, it's just as hard. So I think he's just gotten more polished and maybe just more mature too overall, kind of thing. I think
he's still young, right? He's in his 20s.
I think he's 21.
Yeah,
and he's an ADCC vet, so it's like, dude, sky's the limit, man. You're an ADCC vet already. The rest of us just trying to get that invite, or just do well in the trials at least.
Turned 21 and did a full-time training camp, so he's like, can't drink. Skip that one.
He doesn't even drink at all. He never drinks at all. He just doesn't really drink. It's crazy. Yeah, his big thing is sugar, gushers. If you want to catch him, just leave gushers lying to like a stick with like a box coming up, and then he does it. Catch him in there.
Say gushers to a bear trap. He's like,
oh,
I know what that is.
If I still want it. Yeah, no, he's just that's his thing. I think I saw for his birthday one year, they literally filled his whole car with gushers. Wes Levine and Art Garcia, a couple of brown belts from our gym, the whole car full of gushers. Imagine it was not cheap.
Where do you even buy that many gushers?
Walmart? I guess you got to sell them out, kind of thing. I don't know, but it was. He loved it for sure.
I can imagine that the checkout person was like, I need to get approval for this.
Yeah, you're literally buying all of our gushers. Like, we need to have some for the rest of the people, including myself.
They're trying to rent a truck.
A U-Haul full of gushers for their friend's 21st birthday. Times are changing.
Yeah.
My 21st birthday was like a bottle of Smirnoff.
Ooh.
Whole bottle.
Yeah, I repeat. Whole
bottle. Not flavored, just original.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it was one of the worst days.
So I hear you don't drink Smirnoff anymore.
No. I know I'm not. You're 100% right. I do not. I'm not much of a drinker nowadays at all. It's really hard to drink and train, you know?
That was the one thing I noticed, that like if you train more than 3 days a week, that one night of drinking will take you out. Yeah. Like it'll take you a week to get back to where like you're able to push it.
Week-long hangover for sure. I went out a couple weeks ago with my friends because I probably drank like maybe like 4 or 5 times this whole 2019 because I've just been competing so much and feeling good. But yeah, went out Friday night. By Sunday open mat, I was still hurting. I was like, oh my God, I'm old. This is not good.
Mortality.
Yeah, what am I doing? But It's good, I guess, in a way. It's better than the alternative. We're gonna live forever and never feel anything.
Right.
Tuck everlasting. So, what's been your favorite match of the ADCC so far? I mean, I think like most people are gonna pick like Gary Tonin and Renato Canuto, but I thought that Nicky Rodriguez Muhammad Ali match was really good first round. I thought that was explosive. I thought that was just two intelligent competitors going at it.
Yeah, I think that one because, and it's not even necessary. I mean, the match itself technically was good, but I think it was more the most suspenseful because we were all asking, how's he going to do? Yeah. Right? Like it's easy to say like, oh, he's an NCAA wrestler, he'll be fine. But the other half of it, like, yeah, but he's a blue belt, right?
Yeah.
And we really didn't know like what that meant. Like, it's hard to quantify Nicky Rod, right?
Yeah.
So as we were watching it, like I feel like he earned his spot in ADC. Like, he obviously got his spot there, but he really earned his spot. Like, everyone in the division was like, "Oh shit!"
It was a great showing for sure.
Yeah, like he showed up.
He had some hard matches. It wasn't like anything easy. It wasn't a quick sub. Like even the Muhammad Ali match, that was a hard first match. And I thought Muhammad Ali was very just smart because I think the first, I don't know if it was smart, but the first like regulation look, he kind of held it back, and overtime just went at Nick Rodriguez, which might have blew up in his face a little bit because it went to the ref's decision and then they gave it to Nick Rodriguez. So.
Kennedy versus Alvenjera was 3.
Sorry, man.
Clear.
Oh, Kennedy versus Avenger. Yeah, all of Kennedy's matches though, that kid just goes for it.
I actually didn't see. I didn't see that one at all. I think I was watching maybe Hook or something. But yeah, I didn't see it. Kennedy versus Alvenjera was thrilling as fuck.
What else we got? Yeah, Gary Tonin lost to JT in overtime.
JT's incredible though, man. Won it last year. I've only heard stories about how that guy's pressure is incredible, even from Gordon Ryan.
So the thing about JT too is his first couple of years as black belt, he was kind of a bridesmaid where he would get to second place, he would get to the finals, he would get to the quarterfinals, and never was able to seal the deal. And then he started winning he won a world championship, then he won ADCC, and I feel like it was off to the races for him. And I can't help but think, as a competitor, if there's something psychological there where he started believing himself more, and he's like, "Oh yeah, this can be done."
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like the 4-minute mile or whatever.
Yeah, well, it's maybe you're right. It's just he saw that it was possible because second place, like it kind of mind f's you sometimes when you get second place. Like, man, am I good? Can I hang with these top level guys? Like, I'm almost there, but not quite, kind of thing. And then maybe just one breakthrough, and it's all you need because you realize I can do this. I do belong here.
Right.
I can hang with the top people and do well.
Right. There's that air of acceptance, right?
Yeah, and sometimes your own biggest enemy kind of thing because it's like you're so hard on yourself that you're blocking yourself from getting there. When in reality, you just got to relax and get there.
People in the comments, what is the finals match you're most looking forward to? Not including the absolute because we don't even know what that looks like right now.
What about Pena versus Galvao, the super fight? Galvao, one of the ADCC goats for sure, next to Marcelo, of course.
I was secretly hoping they were going to announce some like magic Marcelo Garcia
some like
match.
super secret match Marcelo Garcia versus Gary Tonin or something like that. Incredible.
Like they're like, here's the ADCC cake. We're like, what? And then Marcelo pops out
out
like,
of
I'm
it.
ready to go.
Yeah, he's been doing like a TRT for the past like 6 months.
Yeah.
He's feeling good. He's feeling shredded. Yeah. He's one of my favorite grapplers, man. Like, he's just this normal guy who, his match versus like Rico Rodriguez was incredible. Pablo Fadovich, all those guys. He's just.
Well, we got served the stats, and it's funny that Marcelo Garcia's whole strategy was get to the back and strangle, and this year the number one finish thus far has been the rear naked
RNC,
which is it's funny because 2005, it's been 15 years, and that one strategy still is the highest percentage finish that there still is.
I mean, we can all agree that the back is a superior route. Like, leg locks are cool because, like, the leg's a little more presentable. But if people hide their feet, it's a little harder. So I think the back's a superior route for sure.
Well, I mean, you look at the back attack system. I mean, I know they say this, so I'm not, obviously, I didn't invent this, but I think a lot of the hesitation for people to hand legs to people because the heel hook game has gone through the roof starts presenting more back options.
Yeah, because instead of like being so open guard, they're going to kind of retract the feet a little bit and maybe give that front headlock a little more, and it opens up the back.
I think traditionally passes went to side right, and I think what is happening is the guard passing game is now like kind of evolving to take the back more, right?
Yeah. Well, because like you see it off like a failed single leg X, guy reaps hard, other guy backsteps, and they go to like a truck roll or river roll kind of thing, and then it's like, well, I don't know if I'm going to risk that leg lock attack if I'm going to put the worst position possible, that almost I'm in the back kind of thing. I know I've been trying to drill it a lot, from a failed leg locks attempt where they go for an outside heel hook to where I kind of hit that truck roll kind of.
Thought we got more comments, guys. Let's keep the comments coming. Yeah. For anybody who's watching, what is the finals match you're looking forward most to? Let's go through it again. For under 66 kilogram, it's either Paulo Miao or Augusto Mendes versus Kennedy. For 77 kilogram, it's JT Torres versus Wagner Hosha, which guaranteed that's just going to look uncomfortable for everybody involved.
Fireworks.
88 kilograms is going to be Craig Jones versus Mateo Dennis, which is a rematch. It's funny because I think that's an interesting match because they kind of have the anti-styles.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? For under 99 kilogram, it's Gordon Ryan versus Vinicius Gazzola. I think Gordon is the favorite there, but I thought Vinny Magalhães was the favorite over Vinicius, so we're kind of geared up for an upset there. For over 99, it's Nicky Rod, not Nicky Ryan. Same team, confusing names, and versus Buchecha, which again, incredible. So here's the deal: is Gordon posted on his stories that Buchecha came in at 260, and Nicky Rod has looked incredible, but he is on the lighter side of the bracket. So it's gonna be interesting to see. And Buchecha is a good wrestler with supremely explosive athlete. Yeah. And Buchecha seems to be at his best when you make him mad.
Yeah, exactly. When you waken the beast, you poke that bear, so to speak.
So I could imagine Nicky taking him down and Buchecha just turning on, and then it's going to be literally
fireworks.
Yeah. For the females, for the under 60 kilogram, it's Bianca Basilio versus Fiona Davies. Bianca Basilio came in with a decision win. Fiona Davies came in, actually by points because Elvira pulled guard in the points section and was down 2. Fiona Davies with a really brutal armbar on Bia Mesquita. Hope Bia's doing well, but Fiona looking on fire. And for the female over 60 kilograms is Gabby Garcia, who wins in typical fashion, and Carolina Santi, who won off points, I believe. So stacked finals division. Please drop us a comment. Tell us what match you're most looking forward to. Craig versus Denise. So Craig Jones came in with his typical leg lock game, caught a few rear naked chokes, but I can't help but think Mateus Diniz. I mean, Craig's been training out the Blue Basement, the New York, the East Coast circuit is. I mean, there's plenty of tournaments out there, but it's pretty tight. You're going to see the same people. I can't help but think that. I don't know how to call that one. I would say if I were to have the needle right in 50s, like an even chance between the two of them. I love Craig Jones. I have to tip it towards Denise a little bit.
Oh my god, I was gonna go the whole other way.
Really?
I got to go with Craig Jones on that personally. I don't know. I mean, I haven't really studied Mateus Denise as much as I would like. I've seen some of his matches on like IBJJF, Nogi Worlds, kind of stuff like that, or Kasai. But maybe I don't really know Mateus Denise that well. But I just feel like Craig Jones is a little more well-rounded with his leg lock attacks, his back attacks, and his triangles. But that's just me.
Here's the one thing I'll say to your point is. And I can't help but think this is the influence of having Nicky Rod in the camp. I know the Henzo crew has been training wrestling a lot more. They hate it, but they've been training it a lot more. And I think that might make the difference versus Mateus. Because I'm sure Mateus has a great guard, but he's not known for it. He's known for top pressure and takedowns, right?
Just like in here.
Right? So with Jones... he has the leg lock. He has the leg entanglements and all that from the bottom, but his wrestling, I just feel like he could counter. he could put Mateos in bad positions because of his extra wrestling experience. Yeah. That said, I don't know if he has the takedowns to take down Mateos, but then he had that crazy judo throw in a Kasai, which
Uchimata.
Gets to our point of the judo being a great counter wrestling tactic.
Yeah, well, it's good just to counter with another takedown, and plus when you go for that takedown, headlocks open up too, and all of a sudden you can get on that neck a little more. But Mateus Denise, I'm sure he's no stranger to any kind of headlock. He did take out Josh Hinger, who's known for his Hinger team.
Right.
So I think that match is gonna be super fire. I don't really see Craig Jones taking Denise down, so to speak, kind of thing like that.
I was thinking more the counter wrestling. Yeah. Right. For the 99 kilogram, Gordon's obviously the favorite. He's looked great, but rumor has it that he's been fighting through food poisoning.
Really? I didn't hear anything about it. That's crazy. So he's doing really well for going through food poisoning.
The one question there is, and this is more for the absolute, is how's that going to affect him in the later rounds?
It's probably not going to do really well. Right. He's probably going to save everything he can for this because this is
Right.
But he lost to Felipe Pena 2 years back in the absolutes, right?
He did. So he won a division. Yeah.
So it might. He might be a little determined to make sure this year goes right.
But the times he's lost to Felipe Pena is off of a leg entanglement.
Takes it back.
Yeah.
Every time, same one.
But we haven't seen any leg entanglements from Gordon this year.
I imagine Danaher talked to him a little bit. Yeah. He's like, hey, man, we can't be listening like this again.
Right. Danaher sitting there eating popcorn.
Yeah.
Like from his stories.
Hey, maybe Gushers. Maybe he likes Gushers just like Keith. Maybe that's the secret sauce that I'm missing.
He's secretly trying to lure Keith over to the base.
Danaher says,
yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, we have unlimited Gushers.
Unlimited Gushers. Come on over, Keith. I feel like Keith still wouldn't go. He'd be like, nope, not gonna fool this guy.
I feel like he's California through and through.
Yeah.
Like he'd hit one winner, he's like, I'm out.
This is not fun. Where's the beach? Where's the Gushers? Phillips.
Oh, Kevin, our fashion correspondent.
Oh, no.
They're cueing him.
The final is Canyon versus Nicky Rod?
No, the final is Buchecha versus Nicky Rod.
He's saying Buchecha lost to Canyon via ref decision.
Oh, did he?
Possibly.
Sure. Let's go.
Hello.
Hi. Hello, Kevin, our fashion correspondent.
Oh, good. I am on. I'm still trying to awaken from the funeral going on at ADCC. Presumably, they're all in black. It has been a nice reflection time, though. I've heard vape pens can kill you. I just bought 18 of them, so we'll find out.
I don't give a hoot.
Have you seen any statements going in? Do you see any statements being made going into the finals from a fashion perspective?
Haven't seen anything being made at all. You were just talking about Gordon Ryan, who forgot how to leg lock, forgot how to dress. At least Gary still showed up looking like a patriotic, and I used it yesterday, but I think it still works. He looks like a patriotic anal plug, but I dig it.
I agree. Every year he shows up in some kind of star-spangled uniform.
Does Pink do either? I guess so you two might be helpful here. You do some fighting. Does Pink make you physically weaker, or purple, maybe a fuchsia, something with some stripes? Do you view that as weakness in fighting?
I think it makes you a little more aerodynamic. I don't know about weaker, but maybe more aerodynamic.
Well, that would be lovely if you could share that with the fucking competitors on ADCC. Every one of them. Gordon ditched the ice cream cone thing to look darker and less dynamic. So personally, who's still rocking his cheetahs though?
What do you think of Craig Jones actually not wearing enough? Do you think that was a plus statement or a minus statement?
I will say there's moments he's rotating. You can see a little bit of what's going on underneath the cheetah. There's a pink note to it that you're right. I want to know more. Maybe I will in the finals. It's no gi. You don't have to wear a cup.
I'm just saying, I feel like Craig is missing out on opportunities to accessorize.
Oh, those are terrible.
Well, you have 17
Yeah,
more.
you're 17
so
more, so you better get used to it.
Oh, I don't have that cloud feeling yet. What
You're
was
you're not codified
Craig's? You're saying Craig's still fighting. Could he bring a purse? Maybe something with like where his little bracelet is. I mean, he's got one more shot. I was hoping for something he was going to tear off.
well, that's the thing. Everyone's going like short sleeve or no sleeve rash guards. Why don't we go sleeve only rash guard?
Sleeve. Oh, that's hot. Maybe something like that gear that people wear to really exclusive BDSM clubs, like those little chest brackets. Something
Exactly.
like that. Inspired by it. I dig it.
Or like wear a
can make some
razorback tank
calls.
top, but the back is in the front.
Who do I know that could specialize in something a little naughty? If we are going to go black, let's embrace it. That's not a bad idea. Maybe I've been taking the wrong approach.
yet. Yeah, I
50
really like
Shades
the
of Grey,
sleeve only
very
approach.
popular series. Sorry, what?
I said I really like the sleeve only approach kind of thing. That seems like it'd be pretty fitting for ADCC.
So I was
Maybe some
saying
stripes
about
on there?
Yuri. You remember Yuri at EBI? He wore the one sleeve.
Oh yeah, you were just the one. I remember that actually.
It's awesome. Yeah, you could tear it off if you get all frustrated. Something for the fans. I was again surprised. I thought as Gary slapped the mat in disappointment, or we lost the Chach, maybe one of them would pull off the shirt and reveal something, tear it, give us a little thrill. But I guess that wasn't in the ADCC production budget. A wardrobe department, for fuck's sake.
Probably in the finals.
Do you have any comments on the lack of head accessories, head, face accessories in general?
Yeah, and
Probably good.
no one's even gotten the tape. No one's gotten the patch tape. So first of all, Keenan, put an eye patch on and come grapple like a man. Like I don't understand why this is so complicated.
Or goggles maybe. Just
It's
grapple
like-
blind.
So
or
is the monocle
grapple
in
like a
yet?
woman with some goddamn toughness. But no, he has to. Yeah, get a good plastic eye. Is there a grappling monocle? It's like a plastic one.
You're down to one eye, but make the one good eye stronger.
I haven't seen it, but I have a feeling that'll also somehow get used as an IBJJF violation, and Keenan will be post haste banned. But perhaps for ADCC, something like that. But I don't know. I guess I'm old school. I don't think you need your eyes that much to grapple. You should be able to do it with feeling and a little thing called hard work. Some people sideline for it.
I think EBI will allow the monocle, then On It will make one, and then it's all over from there.
They'll adopt the rules. We'll
Yeah.
see it at Kasai before 2020, I believe.
Like the left side of the combat jiu-jitsu bracket can only wear the left-sided monocle, and then the right
Yep.
side can only wear the right side.
Absolutely. I would like, is there a way to get in touch with the baby boomer generation to use this as an example? Because I keep hearing things about the millennials have lost it. It's all about coloring their hair, making a statement on Instagram. Where's our compliment for being all rank and file? We're dressed like it's basically Cobra Kai again. Everybody's falling in line. There's probably some bullying. I don't know.
I guess I would have to agree that the baby boomer generation is wildly underrepresented, both from a fashion and from sort of like a statement perspective in grappling.
And on this podcast. So right now, Hanger and Blank are fighting, and not a scant color to be found on either of them. The red and is basically the ADCC ankle bracelet is the only color represented in this match.
I don't know. Maybe we should throw it back to ADCC. Can we get some different colored anklets?
Start with them. Yes. First of all, I've heard they're very open to these types of suggestions, and they tend to be good about shaking it up. A nice
Real open door policy over
magenta,
there.
yeah, versus like a neon green. It's pretty good.
I think this is a rematch from Trials, I want to say.
I will give you all one more fashion question before I go back to drinking during the day.
And you're vaping.
Well, fashion doesn't fashion itself.
Fashion takes work. And plus, I've got to get on someone with this no chest, sleeves only rash guard.
Yeah.
I am obsessed with the idea.
It's very Flash Gordon.
You two are gentlemen and scholars. I apologize for my egregiously down persona, but that's what happens when it's just rain and black on what's supposed to be a colorful Sunday.
when you're at a funeral and you don't know who died.
I didn't. I guess pink is who died this year. Maybe a nice, colorful, bright orange. My parents bought a Jeep that's pumpkin colored. Pumpkin colored. It's fall.
So if you buy
Lovely.
a pumpkin colored Jeep, can you only use the cinnamon air freshener?
I actually have it on good authority. That is a myth. You are allowed to use cinnamon in the fall and apple cinnamon in the spring. That's it.
Everyone's favorite oatmeal, of course.
Quaker?
More black. Bye, all.
Bye. Hope you're having a better day. All right, everyone. I think we're going to take a break from the commentary team while we get these brackets up. And thank you for joining, and we will talk to you in a bit.
Bye.
Show's taking a break or Dane's taking a break? Is it still on?
Yeah, still on.
Oh.
I just dropped the audio.
Oh, hi everybody. Here's some good news. I'm excited that we're going to bring on a guest right now. A gentleman, a scholar. He told me he might be jealous. And I don't want him to be. Because he was like, hey dude, here's the thing. I might have somebody that said something to the following of, Raph, if I talk to you, I might be in a place of wanting to be there myself. And I was just like, you know, here's the thing, dude. You're so good at jiu-jitsu that you just have to chill out, man. Like, you're a beast. You're super amazing. When you pulled on this, when he's been on the show before, he's been super cool. So I just want to get his insight. Because here's the thing. You can talk about ADCC with a number of people, but can you always talk about it with somebody who's been there? That's the real question. So what we're going to have in just a second is somebody coming in. And before we go and do that, I want to signpost and make sure that you guys know, if you have not done so already, do me a solid and follow at Grappling Hour on Facebook. Follow us on the Instagram at Grappling Hour. Follow us in your heart, but honestly, more on Periscope as well, or Twitter. Those are great. And now we're on Twitch at Grappling Hour and all the major channels. So that way you can keep up with our antics. So that way you see things that go on in the future, because it looks like we've got things that are still going on here. You guys are still crushing it on there. I wanted to make sure we weren't missing any action. It seems that they are still on a break, because for a split second they showed Hinger and no, this is the third place matches.
Wow.
So they had one of the third places and we didn't know? And Hinger took third.
Yeah.
Oh, God, dude. Like, this is one of... Yeah, he got a Hingertine on...
No, this is just highlights, isn't it? Or they... Oh, what?
Yeah, because Craig Jones had him. So these are all third place matches. Just double checking right now. We've already done it. Okay. Let me go ahead and check real quick. Yep. Wait. Just double checking with you guys right now. Thank you guys so much for your patience. It's been a day. You know what I mean? Like, one of those days where you just look and you're like, is it a day? And it's like, today is that day. But it's a fun day, because now we're at the next part of the game, which is getting to the exciting matches. I gotta tell you, man, I know Gary pretty well, and I've never seen him take the mat looking quite like that. He looks a little bit more bummed than anything. So I can't tell if this is him getting dialed in and focused, but him versus Leon for third place is happening right now. Dante Leon is also Canadian, so you know that if you prick him, he bleeds maple syrup. A little known fact. So we're just trying real quick again to get up this next guest on your Skype. We tried calling. And as we watch Gary Tonin get back to it, you have to ask yourself, do they just make those two rash guards, or does he go home and, wash it? Like, what do you think? Because they're the same ones, right? Interesting. Okay.
So Gary's swinging to a leg entanglement.
Okay, Gary's in that place. Gary's already looking on. He looked for a split second on a heel hook, but he's just kind of grabbing. Ah!
And we're to an A6 commercial.
Oh, God. I'm so done with these dumb Bob Dylan commercials. Okay. So, we're doing one test real quick. We're actually going to bring in our good friend, the Hitman, Quentin Rosenzweig, to update us on what's been going on. And then once we have him, we're going to chat with another guest in a little bit. So, just to let you know, I think our other guest is telling us he's going to be ready in a minute. So let's bring on Quentin first, and then we're going to go to the other guest while our producer starts to coordinate with that human being. Because he's a human being more than anything. It's always interesting to see how these matches go and how their focus is and if they're in a place. But ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to discuss with us many of the makings, especially in the AAKG, our good friend, Quentin Rosenzweig. Quentin, that hat is amazing, sir.
Thanks, man. It's one of my sponsors, Deep Half.
Oh, Deep Half. That's a great sponsor name. If I'm thinking about it, that's a really cool thing. You look like you're on safari, but like jiu-jitsu safari.
I am on a jiu-jitsu safari.
Okay. So you're in charge mostly of the 88 kg division. What can you tell us about what's been going on in that division, sir?
Well, you got Craig Jones and Mateus Deniz in the final. That should be an interesting rematch. They face each other at Kasai. I know Mateus won, but I think Craig's a little slicker these days. It should be an interesting match. I think it'll probably go down to overtime. Hanger just beat Thor for the third place, took him out, held it real tight. I'm currently watching the Dante Gary match. It's really entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, what is your thought on Tonin versus one JT Torres?
I mean, I thought JT just had a smart game plan on how to deal with him. I thought Dante got screwed against Wagner. He had the better submission attempts. But this should be a really dynamic, interesting match. They're both crazy good.
Who do you have in the final?
I think JT's going to win. I think JT versus Wagner, I think JT beats him. He just beat him recently.
Yeah. I mean, Buchecha lost to Kenyon via ref, is what our audience is saying. Can you explain that for us, please?
The ref's decisions make no sense to me here, because you would think it would be submission-based, like the closest person to finishing the match or anything like that, but it really doesn't seem to be that. It seems to be more wrestling-based, like whoever pushed the pace wrestling a little bit more, maybe. Not even necessarily like good wrestling, but like wrestling on the edge. Like if they got like a takedown on the edge, they might get the nudge in the match, which doesn't seem to make a lot of sense to me, but a lot of what they do doesn't.
That makes sense. And here's the thing, Quentin, right now. What you mentioned that already with Craig and Mateus in their match, that's going to be intense. Is there any of the other finals matchups that you are looking forward to, or even the third places?
Well, I was looking forward to this one. I think this is going to be interesting. Obviously, JT versus Wagner is a must-watch.
Just real quick, it says audio is cutting out from both of y'all. So we're just going to double-check that for just a second, if you guys don't mind. Do you mind looking to see how it looks like on Facebook and on YouTube? So just double checking all of that as we do that. So I'm very sorry to disrupt that. Hopefully we'll be able to resolve that. It sounds fine on our one stream. It might just be on Twitch, so we'll check on that later. Twitch people, I'm very sorry. I hope you guys are doing okay. Thank you for letting us know that. I'm so sorry. You were saying, what were you looking forward to in those other divisions or third places?
I mean, there's a lot of Americans going for gold and a lot of non-Brazilians. Like Fionn Davies beating Bia Mesquita, that's going to be the upset of the tournament, honestly. Yeah. That was amazing. What else was really good? The lighter weights is going to be interesting with Tanquinho and Cobrinha Jr.
Ooh, yeah.
There's a lot of history going to be made here. I think Gordon beats Tractor easy at 99, under 99. I think Tractor's kind of just gotten by.
Gary in on a heel hook does get the tap. Gary Tonin will podium now. And,
did not see that coming. That was nice.
Very happy for Gary. I mean, the hardest part about it is it's just like those matches between JT and Gary just as like the last thing that gets you into the finals. I don't know why they did it again like this year where they bracketed it, but it is what it is.
Yeah. That being said, JT versus Wagner is still a beastly matchup. Wagner's a monster, man. It's
I
such
love
a
Wagner,
good dude.
but I didn't want to see it in the final as much as I would Gary and JT. If I'm being honest, just because we've seen it before in a semifinal, and from a TV producer's standpoint, I'd be like, cool. So we're gonna play a rerun.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
Just in case you haven't seen it. No disrespect to them, but it's just, listen, dude, if you have the chance to make something different and you say that, then do that thing. So, Quentin, here's what we're going to do. Why don't we take a break right now with you, and then why don't we check in after the final so you can clue us in as to what took place in those categories, if you wouldn't mind, sir.
Okay.
Awesome. Quentin, thank you so much for helping us out. We very much appreciate it, dude.
Later, man. No problem.
Later. All right.
So to remind everyone of the finals that we have.
Yes, thank you.
And I just verified all of this. It's going to be Augusto Mendez versus Kennedy Maciel for 66 kilograms. For 77 kilograms, it's going to be JT Torres versus Wagner Hosho. For 88 kilograms, it's going to be Craig Jones versus Mateos Diniz. For under 99 kilograms, it's going to be Vinicius Gazola versus Gordon Ryan. For heavier than 99 kilograms, I made a mistake. It's Nikki Rodriguez versus Ken Duarte. And then for female, less than 60 kilograms, it's going to be Bianca Basilio versus Fiona Davies. And for the female category, for greater than 60 kilograms, it's going to be Gabi Garcia versus Karina Santi.
Awesome. We hope that updates you. We are looking at the comments. We are just getting multiple things that we are balancing all at once. But ladies and gentlemen, bringing onto the show right now, in just a moment, we mentioned that it was a competitor who is super good, because what I was alluding to is this. Talking about being at the ADCC is one thing, but actually having competed at there and knowing the type of intense competition that you have is a different skill. So we decided to go ahead and pull somebody on that might be able to help us out a little bit, and we'll be cutting to them in just 2 minutes. But as a good reminder, we want to thank our friends over here at GFT Orange. This is an amazing facility. They have been so kind to us. They have opened their doors to us in a very, very nice way. And if you guys ever have the opportunity to come, they're a very welcoming gym. So I very much appreciate them coming through to us. I'm just letting you know, I'm getting a little static on my side. I'm not sure if you are, Dane.
I am too.
Okay. Okay, great. It's a little lower, but I want to make... Yeah, I hear it there. All right. It looks like right now, ladies and gentlemen, coming to give us a little bit of athlete perspective, we have one Enrico Coco. Enrico, how you doing, sir?
What's up, Raph? Doing well, man.
Not much, man. Are you watching with your teeth clenched? Are you at a peaceful place? Where are you on your ADCC watching, sir?
Nice and peaceful, relaxed, hanging out.
You told me, you're like, dog, I don't know, man. Sometimes when I watch these grapplers, sometimes you never know because you're just competitive. But what have you seen here that you have been excited by today, sir?
Man, sorry, you broke up a little bit there. I missed that last 10 seconds.
I was just asking, what have you seen that has excited you at this year's ADCC?
Oh, I mean, there's been a lot of cool matches. I mean, Gary Tonin, Hanato Canuto was pretty fun. I got to catch up. I have not seen enough that I've wanted to see, but, you know,
okay,
I'm doing my best.
No problem. Did you see what's going on with Wagner, though?
Yeah, I see he's in the finals now, so that's awesome.
Are you stoked for that? What can you tell us to expect for Wagner? I mean, he's been at this kind of stage before, just in terms of high-level competition. Do you think that he can beat JT?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, they just fought. Obviously, it's tough once you go down, you know, in a certain point in the match and you got to play catch-up. You know, every match is different, man, you know, so yes, he can beat JT.
And what do you think those keys are for him? Is it maybe an aggressive style? Maybe is it, do you see him pulling guard? Like, what, in your opinion, might that be?
I mean, it's going to be tough, man. It's going to come down to inches against JT. But Wagner, his pressure is unreal. So if he could just keep that pressure going, you know, I think that could be the factor. It's probably going to be could be a 0-0 double overtime, wrestling battle. I don't think JT is going to pull guard on him, so.
Yes.
And I don't see Wagner really pulling guard on him either.
Interesting. Okay. All right. I like hearing that. I mean, one thing that you can always count on with Wagner is a very intense match. So I don't really think that anybody's going to say it's on a lack of fireworks. But the question I have for you, sir, is what can you tell us that some people don't know when they're competing at that ADCC? Like, you've been to the dance, you know what it is. Like, what is it that regular people who are watching this may not know about that style or that tournament?
A whole lot, I guess. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely very hard.
What's
it's
the
hard.
biggest challenge as you get into the later rounds, especially in the finals? And
I mean, I wouldn't know, man. I've only made it the first round. Every single match to get past, I think, is tough. Yeah, there's not really a padded way to the finals, in my opinion.
I just always wondered because when I look at these guys there, it's like some people compete at different ways. Some people take it like in a very quiet way. They get intense. They do their thing. But you may go to a different, smaller competition, but there may not be as much media scrutiny. There isn't as much attention here. So I've always wondered from the athlete's perspective, how is it that you go about either getting rid of all of that or not acknowledging it or maybe embracing it?
Yeah, I guess that depends on the individual. Some guys really make it a point to embrace it, and that does well for them. I've never. For me, I've always just tried to do my own thing, and not really paid attention to what other people are saying. And, I guess it depends on the athlete. Some people feed off of that. Some people could let that worry them and get them more nervous about the actual competition. I mean, I don't know. I can't, like, it exhausts me to like try to keep up and see what everybody's talking about and do all that. I just like to be in my own bubble and, do my own thing. And, maybe afterward I'll look back at some stuff, but,
Has there been anything that's made you laugh when you did go to ADCC and compete and like a few days later you look at it and you go, oh, God.
I mean, yeah, the first time, I guess that was, it was all very surreal. I had, I fought Crone Gracie my first time. I had Marcelo Garcia, warming up right next to me, in the tunnel, coming out right before me. That was like my idol growing up, watching him compete. So I mean, I definitely felt a sense of nervousness I never felt before. I felt, excited and ready, but, that first ADCC, I think that adrenaline dump I felt was like no other, but,
yeah, I was going to ask that, and I think you've answered it, but, it's easy to say, oh, ADCC is just another tournament, but do you think it's fundamentally different? Do you think it is or is not just another tournament?
I mean, yeah, for a lot of guys, that's, again, they consider it the Olympics, so it definitely has, that importance. I think there's more riding on it, and yeah, it tends to stick. You'll hear about this for the next few years. The guys that won this time around and whatnot. Yeah, I mean, you have to treat it like it's just another event, or else you could definitely get too caught up in it.
Absolutely.
But
well, I wanted to ask, what do you got going on next, man? When do we see you compete again, sir?
I believe it looks like I'm going to be competing on the 18th, Fight to Win. Waiting on official word, but yeah, that's what it's looking like.
Awesome, dude. Well,
Yeah.
Here's the thing I want to make sure you know. Don't take too much time. We miss you. We want to see you competing all the time. I want to be able to see highlights and good stuff that I can study, sir. So
Appreciate it, man. I got caught with that crazy pink eye that's been going around.
No.
So I'm finally I'm still dealing with stuff from it, but yeah, I think that was from my last trip to California. It must be because no one in my gym has it, or no one around in South Florida have I heard of having it. But I came back from the California trip, and a few days
Name
later.
names. Who did it to you? Who touched you?
Well, I had the only guys I fought with there were Rafael Domingo and Gabriel Checo. So it's either one of them or somebody left it somewhere.
I
around
know my co-host for Verbal Tap, Kevin Phillips, and I have talked about. I think the biggest story for this year is going back and starting a podcast that discovers week by week who was responsible for this pink eye outburst. I think that's the real serial that we're going to end up doing for this sport.
Yeah, I'd like to know, because it's pretty serious, man. I've been dealing with it now for over 5 weeks, and
Jesus, dude,
it was 2.5 weeks of hell, and I'm still
having
getting
got an eye infection too. I can tell you that. I mean, you know this, but it's nothing but uncomfortable. There's no rest.
Yeah, I was sleeping a few hours every night, and just annoying pain. I've had pink eye, a couple times, and it's nothing like that. It's pink eye to the extreme.
But it's so funny because my wife's mom is a nurse, and she's like, "That's a children's disease," and I'm like, "I know." I didn't just go around being dumb. It's some idiot that I trained with that would do this. You know what I mean? So it's just you get so mad when it happens and you want to kill people. And even to see it happen at the level at ADCC is one that's hyper annoying. But I cannot believe it took you out for 5 weeks. Well, sir, I'm very sorry that's happened. Enrico, I want to thank you for your time, man. I appreciate you coming on. I know you got a birthday party to get back to, man, and I do not want to interrupt that anymore. But please, thank you so much for stopping in. Make sure that we see you very soon, sir.
Will do, man. Thanks for having me, guys.
No problem, dude. Have a great rest of your day, sir.
Have a great one, man.
Peace.
Oh, my God. That poor man.
Oh, but they didn't start the time, so they had to restart the match. Because in the overtime, they had it for 0-0. So they restarted the match.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
I can't help but think this is a little bit of... So we have someone coming on right now, Josh Leddick. Special guest. Josh, how you doing?
Good. How are you guys?
Doing great.
Great. Thanks for asking.
What's your take on the finals?
The one going on right now, or the 99 plus? Oh, sorry.
Oh, so for the 90, let's start with the 99 plus, then we'll go through the rest of them because I'm sure you've been watching it all.
Yeah, 99 plus. I mean, those two big upsets, Duarte and Nikki Broad making it to the finals. So honestly, I think Nikki probably takes it. Duarte's not the biggest guy at heavyweight, so Nikki's going to be able to muscle him around a little bit more compared to, his matches with Orlando and Cyborg and even Muhammad Ali. So I think Nikki takes this, and even if he doesn't, I mean, getting a silver medal, your first ADCC after a year and a half of jiu-jitsu is pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean, there's been talks about the refs' decisions and how inconsistent they've been. And we're trying to figure out what's the criteria that the refs are grading on, if it's just aggression or submission attempts. Do you have any take on that?
Yeah, I mean, that last one was definitely really close, the match between Cyborg and Nikki. Cyborg was a lot more passive on the ground, but he did have a good submission attempt. I'm thinking now they're kind of basing it more on the aggression and the wrestling because, I mean, Nikki was winning the scrambles, and that's probably where he got the win. But I definitely think it needs to be a little bit more organized across the board. Even yesterday, we saw, especially in the Nikki matches, all of them, the takedowns going out of bounds and stuff like that. And most of them were reset neutral, and some of them were reset in the same position. So it's tough. I mean, it's a tough job, being a referee. But at the highest level of the Olympics of grappling, it needs to be a little bit more across the board organized.
Yeah, the criteria should be a little more straightforward on what they're kind of judging for the decision.
Yeah, I agree, definitely. And I think it should be known beforehand, I'm guessing they probably talked about it during the rules meeting. I wasn't there. I didn't see the rules meeting. So maybe there's some info there, but I think it's going to be a big discussion point going into the next one.
Yeah, I mean, having it in writing, right?
Yeah.
That's sort of.
I think so.
So, I mean, I know this is outside the 99 kilogram division, but we were having this discussion about sort of the dynamics between the Craig Jones and Mateus Dennis match.
Yeah.
Do you have any opinions on that?
Yeah, it's a rematch because they grappled at Third Coast and Craig lost in overtime. And I think they also grappled at Kasai, but I'm not 100% sure.
I think it was Kasai too.
Yeah, so I think Mateus is up 2-0 in his matches over Craig, but the way Craig's been on fire submitting everyone, I kind of give the advantage to Craig this time around.
Same.
Yeah, one of the things I said too is like on paper at least, their styles seem to clash like almost perfectly, right? Where Mateus is a lot of like takedowns and top pressure, and Craig's more of a guard player. I just don't think I think he's had trouble capitalizing on the leg entanglements against the heavy top player like Mateus.
Yeah, I mean, this time around, he hasn't really been attacking the legs too much. It's all been upper body, going to the back, and going for those guillotine chokes. But I think if Craig wins this match, it's probably by submission or by a back take. And if Mateus wins, it's going to be by a takedown.
I agree on that one. Yeah, I think that Craig Jones, I think that since he's been in the blue basement so much, I think they're focusing more on chokes and back takes and less on leg locks and stuff. But
yeah, they're using the threat of their leg locks to open up the pathway to the back, and it's definitely working out. And you can also see the pathways to the front headlock and working those guillotines from there as well.
Yeah. For headlocks, the superb in my opinion.
For the under 99 kilogram division, I think we are all expecting to see a Gordon-Vinny Magalhaes rematch, but we instead have Gordon with Gazzola. Do you have any thoughts on that matchup?
Gazzola's tough, man, but I think Gordon definitely takes it. I'm not sure if he subs him, but I don't see Gazzola winning that one. But he's had a hell of a day, coming in and upsetting a bunch of people. And even if he doesn't beat Gordon, leaving with silver medal, first time in ADCC, and I believe he's a brown belt still. So it's interesting, man. I think Gordon wins that one for sure.
Yeah, it's excellent. And then to move back down to 77, JT Torres versus Wagner Hosha. Man, JT's a beast and he's looked great, but I never count Wagner out. Do you have any thoughts on that matchup?
Yeah, I wouldn't count Wagner out either, but he is coming off a loss to JT, a fight to win, where JT kind of dominated him a little bit. So that's definitely going to be playing in Wagner's head. I think I wouldn't be surprised if Wagner wins this one just with the way the momentum's going. Right. But JT definitely the favorite.
The one thing I'll say about JT versus Wagner is Wagner but he tends to utilize a lot of forward pressure. But JT's been through the crucible of Atras HQ, and I can't help but think that's less affecting to him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely agree. And JT's wrestling's been looking really good. And if you look at their match and fight to win, JT basically out-wrestled Wagner, which is Wagner's not a great wrestler. He's a great counter wrestler. He uses Kimura traps to counter and then get attacks off from there. And JT totally nullified that. So if you can execute the same game plan going in, he's probably going to win the match.
Right, definitely. And then you go down to the 66 kilogram, Kennedy Maciel, so Little Cabrinho versus Augusto Mendez. Man, I don't even know how to call that one. I don't even know where to begin. Do you have any thoughts on that one?
I have no idea whatsoever. That one's going to be a big toss-up right there. I think Tanquinho is obviously the favorite, being so experienced in the rule set. But Kennedy's young. He's got that gas tank, and he's going to be pushing,
That's the one thing I was thinking with Kennedy is like he has the ability to because Tanquinho is much more methodical, right? Very somewhat slow grinding style, like just kind of hand over hand crawls his way to the win. But I think Kennedy has the ability to create enough chaos that he's more than capable of creating an opportunity to take advantage of.
Yeah, it's just whether he can create those scrambles or not. And Tanquinho, it's whose pace gets dictated. If Tanquinho gets on top and starts slowing it down, or can just find a way to slow down the game, he's going to win. But if Kennedy can go at him with some speed and scrambles and capitalize off that, then he's got a chance at it, and that'll be a big upset.
Yeah. Going to the women, did you get a chance to see the Bia Mesquita Fiona Davies match?
Yeah, that was insane. Fiona Davies is a killer, Do you guys know if Bia's still going to be competing for third place or not? Because
I've been scouring social media to see if they had to see if there was a comment. Man, after the things I saw her elbow do, I almost hope she doesn't. I would love to see Bia compete again, but she should probably have that looked at before she damages it even further.
Yeah, I mean, they made the announcements at the beginning that the bronze for 99 plus and 99 wasn't going to happen. So if she wasn't going to do it, I'm guessing they would have announced it then. But I don't know. I'd be really surprised to see her go out there after seeing what her elbow looked like during that armbar.
Right. I mean, I hope she's feeling. I hope she feels okay, but that she may have more flexible joints than me.
Yeah, I mean, you always got to take that into consideration with the women. Like they constantly, I've seen some elbows go in and out, and no taps from it. You know, you really have to like get a break against the women because their joints are so much more dexterous and flexible most of the time.
Right.
Did you guys see that video Cyborg put out on Flow Grappling?
No.
So because he didn't agree with the decision against Nicky Rod, he pulled out of the bronze medal match and the absolute division.
What a baby.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, I
dude,
saw him throwing a fit on the mats, but I didn't think he would do that. Wow.
Yeah, dude, it's fucking embarrassing because like he's constantly talking about sportsmanship and respect and stuff like that. And up until recently, I was a huge fan of Cyborg, but it seems like the DDS guys are constantly getting under his skin, and now it's almost like the ultimate troll move. You get beat by their blue belt, and he forces you to decide to leave the biggest tournament in grappling because you're so pissed off.
Yeah, like you're that upset that you didn't perform or you didn't agree with the judge's decision that you're just gonna leave. Like I could not think of a more like un-samurai way to act.
Well, I mean, and get your vengeance in the absolute division, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's a good chance you'd be matched up with either Nicky or Gordon in the absolute. Like, if you're that pissed off, just go take it to him unless you don't think you can, you know?
Like, we're one of the few combat sports with a literal pound-for-pound division. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, it lets you really settle those scores. If it's a little guy talking shit to you or a big guy talking shit to the little guy, you never know what could happen, you know?
Yeah. Right, see you in the absolute.
Yeah, exactly.
One of the last things I want to talk about is the Bianca Basilio versus Fiona Davies. I don't know if you have any opinions on that.
Man, it's definitely going to be close. I'm just going to go with Fiona because of the level of momentum she has going on right now. You know, coming off
EBI, Bia made Bianca look less challenging. I'll say.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with that. I'm just going with Davies just because of the momentum she has going into it.
I agree.
Great. Well, thanks for your time, man. Appreciate having you on. We'll talk to you. We'll probably check in with you a little bit later for the finals. But have a good time, and we'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good. I'll see you guys.
See you, Josh.
So on the match right now, we have the third place match between Ana Carolina Vieira, which is Rodolfo Vieira's sister, and Tayane Porfino. This is the third place match. Tayane looks like she's enjoying a bit of a weight advantage, but doing the heavy head down passing style.
Yeah, making her feel that weight.
Do you do absolute divisions, right?
No, I haven't this year, but I would be interested in doing them. Yeah. But.
So if you're facing someone with a much obviously they're enjoying a weight advantage on you, what are your general? Do you have any rules for that?
Yeah, do not pull guard and do not go inverted like this person. I'm gonna stay on my feet. I'm gonna make them work through my first defense is my wrestling,
right,
and make them earn that top position. I favor headlocks over anything else. So if I can maybe fake underneath you, get you to sprawl, and then get on top, I'm feeling pretty good. I do not want to carry your weight at all.
Right, especially on your upper back and neck.
Oh my god, yes, I have a bad back. And like inverting like that would wreck my weekend.
I mean, women tend to be a bit more flexible, a bit more dexterous, so it might be a different. But it just seems like it'd be really hard to generate force.
Yeah, especially carrying all that weight for a 10-minute match. I mean, I don't care what you say. You may be active on bottom, but you're still fighting an uphill battle.
Right.
And I think I had to kind of learn that the hard way from the MMA fights. I would pull guard in MMA, and whenever I'd had MMA fights, I was like, oh, I can't do this at all. This is not the smart thing to do. They can punch you.
No, I think that's a good way to put it, is an uphill battle, right? Yeah. And given the weight and possible strength disparity, it's just tiring.
Yeah, it's just like, I mean, fighting is already like a 50-50 shot. It's a crapshoot, and so roll the dice kind of thing.
Right.
You got to stack the odds in your favor the best you can. Why not just start by starting on top? Because most people will concede that bottom position. Most people do not want to have to work for that top position.
Right, and grappling.
Yeah.
So she has the leg weaved under between the legs and sort of like a
almost like a Z guard. Oh, yeah,
right.
A Z guard kind of thing. Well, she's gonna maybe attack that knee bar on the other leg if she can get to it. No,
Tayani was not interested in entertain that Z guard.
Got to invert. See, at that point, I'd probably do like a forward roll and try to do like a technical stand up and go back to wrestling.
Right. She's just hanging out inverted. I think she's pretty comfortable.
Yeah, she probably lives there, honestly. She's probably super flexible. Probably does some yoga too.
Which is an important part of training.
Oh, for sure. For as much time as we spend breaking each other, we gotta learn how to put each other back together.
Right now we're seeing Luana Algazar, multiple-time world champion, coaching Anna Carolina. Very concerned look on her face.
Gonna roll through, maybe take the back, maybe no, she's got to cut the angle. Ooh, maybe a calf closer. That's always so tough on the knee though.
Yeah, right. It's
almost like you're gonna like put your knee in a compression to get the tap kind of thing. You're gonna bend your knee.
Yeah, it attacks the LCL.
Yeah, I think Gordon Ryan had issues with that. Working that arming guillotine.
I mean, and I'm by no means a master of sort of the leg entanglements, but where, Ashigarami, honey hole, however you want to call it, falls apart is if they can collapse the legs and you can't get that far side leg, then you're basically sitting in a folding pass.
Yeah, but yeah, exactly.
Which is kind of where we're seeing here.
Yeah.
Up to sort of a outside Senkaku 50-50 position. She has to turn the hips over, reaching for the heel.
Just trying to find that heel. Just got to roll one more time, beat that. Oh, maybe a little bit of hip extension.
So one thing, when they stand, I prefer the single leg X, like typical Ashigarami situation.
Marcelo Garcia, yeah.
Yeah, because you can control that vertical pressure.
Yeah, well, because you have the inside knee as a frame, so
right.
You can really use that across the. Oh, now they're trying to sub out of a sub. Never a good idea. Working that inside position on bottom. Knee bar, maybe? Oh. No, maybe go to ham sandwich. Oh, she's getting squashed. That top pressure is.
It looks like she's trying to do like a thumb in grip for gi.
Yeah. But she's trying to get that crossface. Come around the side, get that guard pass. But
a bit of a non-consensual grip there.
Oh yeah, definitely. I like how you put that. You're trying to go to DOA.
There's a hashtag around that.
If she could maybe move to like an outside triangle and hip up, but that weight advantage is not playing to her favor. Or disadvantage. Minute 44, minute 42 left. Oh, going for the toe hold, already crushed. Not good. Knees bent. Ooh. Maybe she's like a meow and doesn't believe in toe holds.
Though it affects how you walk.
Yeah, he hobbles everywhere.
Yeah.
He for sure hobbles. I think Craig Jones said on a podcast one time that he saw Meow's foot go like 360 the other direction, and the other guy let it go and a slingshot right back to where it was. It was terrible.
I noticed that when we were in the warm-up room for Pan Americas, and I think it was Joao though, but same thing. You kind of saw him walk straight leg and just kind of side to side walk,
like a penguin.
Yeah.
I saw him at the fight to win stage. Same thing. Yeah, he was kind of hobbling around before I went out to go against Gio. About a little under a minute left. Let's see if anyone can scramble up to some kind of.
It's interesting that despite all of this, they haven't really been in scoring positions.
No, yeah, it was kind of almost like a Z guard kind of pressure in. They kind of stayed in that stalemate, both attacking legs.
Right.
Oh, looks like maybe a mount. Got a turtle. No, looks like she's gonna secure those points.
And point secured.
Got to fix the pants. Just write it out and just get that podium, or go for it. Yeah, I saw Josh Hinger when he was on top of Thor. He hit like a top body triangle from the mount. He held him there for like 2 minutes. I'm like,
Horrific.
How are you gonna get out of that?
Horrific.
Yeah, just destroy your spine and keep you there. Cool. Ooh, arm.
Thanks for the stem cell prescription, bro.
Oh my god, yeah. Thanks for the worst car ride home ever. Possible airplane ride home ever.
Can you imagine that, especially for some of those that have to do like the 16-hour flight to Brazil?
Yeah, exactly. Just and they're probably economy.
Yeah,
probably not first class.
Knees together.
Yeah. Possible 3 or 4 screaming babies around them.
Tayani takes third place for the greater than 66 kilogram division.
A good match though. Good match. That definitely was not easy. Definitely might have paid a toehold price.
I think it's important to remember that anybody you see in the ADCCs, especially if they came through the trials, is probably mopping the floor with their gym back home, right? So while they may get knocked out first round, or it's just there are definitely levels to all of this.
To even get a date to that dance is incredible. Right. I think so. Just to be in this tournament, top 16 in the world, right?
Absolutely,
straight
right.
Up. Just to even be invited, just to be even on those mats on that day, incredible. It's the same commercial over and over again.
And Rocket Mortgage or A6.
Yeah, exactly. Rocket Mortgage.
So I'm never wearing A6, and I already have a mortgage, so we're good.
Yeah, so you don't need to see that.
Click is not relevant to me.
Who we got coming up there?
So I don't know which. So
who's next? I think it'd be the third place match of the. No, that one happened. This one.
I'm wondering if it's gonna be female 60 kilograms. Oh, the finals are up next.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I think Fiona Davies, man, she's just
on fire.
On fire. And
so Bianca relies on aggression, and Fiona relies on but they both use aggression.
Yeah.
Fiona has length, and what she just did to Bia, I would agree with you.
Yeah. And that was like a good battle of guard passing. Somehow got a little bit above her to the back, kind of just took that triangle.
By the way, Bia, probably, I would say pound for pound, the most lethal close guard player in jiu-jitsu right now, period.
I agree.
Like gi or no gi. I don't know if you saw the last EBI that Bia did. She would play the overhook close guard and use the far hand to feed to the overhook hand.
Triangle?
Instead of triangles all day.
Yeah. That's a good one I see a lot.
And I wonder if that's Bia saying, okay, I'm probably not going to be able to catch up on the leg lock, like counter leg locking, so I'll just block my legs around you and let's see.
Yeah. Typically for like protecting leg locks, I would think butterfly guard would be a little more better than like a full guard kind of thing like that, you know?
I mean, as long as you keep it closed, right?
Yeah. But even then, you have people who just kind of sit back and they kind of throw the legs over and almost like re-guard you,
True.
Something like that, and like the pulsing guard, I think they call it, kind of thing. I don't know, because I came from like a
which is why I think she has the overhook though.
Yeah,
because she controls the upper body.
You can't just limp out of that kind of thing. That is true. I used to use it a lot. I kind of want to come back to that. There's so many stuff I used to do as like a purple belt, blue belt that I just don't do nowadays for whatever reason because I've found other things. But
Terry and my wife and I were actually talking about this, about how like things start working. So you're like, okay, I've got that, and you move on to the other thing, and you move on to something else. But then, like, Q to a year later, you're like, why don't I do that anymore?
It used to work so good. It probably still does work very well.
Right.
Bring it out. It's like, wow, this is a great tool. I don't know why I've gone so far away from this. Yeah. Who's your dad? Or like Americana to like arm bars, or like, you know, you kind of get the half back and kind of get the, I think they call Cobra hold kind of thing they call it.
Yeah.
Or we call it Who's Your Daddy in the 10 planet system.
Yeah.
But,
that used to be my primary back take, was knee cut pass, mount, scarf hold, back take.
Yeah.
And I used to live on that, and I gave up on it. And then I'm like, man, I never seem to get to the back. And I would try out, you know, a bunch of different fancy ways to get to the back. And then I think I did it a couple weeks ago. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about you.
This is the way.
Which I was gonna say that no-gi, especially ADCC, I think the front mount, I mean, your primary attack should probably be attempt at a back take. You can try head and arms and this, that, and the other thing, but the reality of the matter is like the highest percentage move off of that is going to be a back take.
Agreed. I think that the back is always the best route possible. And then if anything comes up in the route to the back take, for sure, take it. Leg locks, head locks, arm bars, whatever you want. But I think you should always be pursuing the back. That's the dominant angle. And at the very least, you're going to stay the safest there, too. If I get under the back, what are you going to do? So I don't cross my feet.
Well, I mean, with ADCC, if it goes to a decision too, if you spent a fair amount of time on the back, I can't help but think that sways the ref's decision.
Yeah, and even if you're just neck hunting from there too, you're still going for it.
Right.
Pretty safe.
So it looks like we have the photographers moving on to the side mat. So the ADCC is going to go down to one mat.
Finals. This is always
The one thing is, and I don't think they're kind of set up for it. I was hoping they were going to have entrances this year.
like fight to win entrances.
Yeah, something like
That's
that.
what I thought too when I heard Sit Down. I thought it'd be like that, like like music, smoke,
Right, all
almost
of
like
that.
an MMA fight kind of thing. But
That's the thing is, I mean, EBI does it, Fight to Win does it, but one thing Jiu-Jitsu generally kind of lacks is sort of that
smoke.
Smoke. Full stop, period. Next question.
Smoke, lights, music, yeah.
No, but the fanfare, right? Like the entrances. Because what is the one thing, so for those of us that have been following MMA for too long, what was the one thing they always talk about with Pride? Was the pre-show and the entrances.
Yeah. That crazy Japanese voice.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of wish I was there. I think Reason does it too now, right? Reason?
Yeah, same lady too.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's always awesome. I always watch like Nick Diaz or Takanori Gomi or all those old fights.
If any of you ever get a chance, look on YouTube. Apparently, a Russian oligarch paid the money to have her announce like their wedding.
Really?
Yeah, they announced the entire wedding party.
Like
that
Pride
lady,
voice?
like Lita, like announced that entire. Totally should have done it. We had a 50-person reception, but it would have been worth it.
Would have been really cool.
She could have done everyone.
Actually, I might actually look that up.
My freaking aunt doesn't know what's going on. What the who is this?
Who is this
Why?
lady? Why is she screaming like that? I don't know. It's Pride. It's Pride, auntie. Here, watch this fight. You'll get it.
Okay, I'm proud of you. Can you make her stop?
Where's the normal music? Here comes the bride. But yeah, no. I think the coolest part of the entrance to MMA. I mean, like it is cool, but it kind of adds to the show. Kind of adds to the marketing value, so to speak, from the promoter. You know, this is this big extraordinary event.
Well, you got to think from a sponsorship perspective. If you know that there's going to be a period of like 30 seconds to a minute where everyone's looking at and you're getting your brand out there, right? And here's the other thing. If it looks cool, that means it might hit the mainstream media, which will bring more money in the sport, which means we can freaking get these athletes paid,
Publicity.
right? That you can't, like, not to get all, not, I know marketing generally has a bad name, but it matters, right? Especially if we're trying to get our athletes paid, if we're trying to allow people to make a living other than going on these grueling freaking seminar and tours and things like that, like get them paid for doing the thing, right? We need to attract the Nikes, the Reeboks, the whomever, right? And in order to do that, we need to have some sort of thing where they know their brands are going to get seen and they know that, you know, sponsoring these events are going to lead to more sales. So we need to, I don't know, I firmly believe we need to start
more.
Yeah, we need more of that fanfare to start building it up, because like, how many hours a week do you train? Not including tournaments. How many hours a week do you train?
Probably 25 to 30 hours, honestly.
Okay, so you include tournaments, right? Like just the amount of time you spend competing, right? Yeah. And I'm not talking about mat time. I'm talking about the time that you're at a competition. How many hours a month do you think you spend?
Just from the moment I get up driving down there, like, see, so last week I did Ultimate Mat Warriors. Got up at 8 a.m., drove down to the weigh-ins. Didn't compete till like 6, 7 that night. Got back at midnight. So it's like a 12-hour day.
Okay,
I'm there all day long.
So you do those every weekend, a couple times a month?
I'd probably say at least twice a month. I'm competing.
Okay, so you take the 30 hours a week of training, right? So yeah, it's 120 hours a month plus the another 45 hours of whatever it is for the competition. So you're at 170 hours, right?
Yeah.
Plus your teaching schedule in order to pay your bills, right? So the average worker works 160 hours a month. You're working 200 hours a month and probably making nothing, right?
Yeah, I'm definitely not rolling in the.
I mean, which means if you were to order make money, you would have to win something like this, then go on your crazy summer. Like Craig Jones said that after he did the last ADCC, he's like, I've barely trained because I finally got my opportunities to do seminars, and I'm tired of being the broke jiu-jitsu guy, so I'm trying to cash in while I can.
Yeah.
Right. In order for us to like switch that tide for the athletes, we need to start bringing bigger sponsors and bigger money and
get about ESPN.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, and what do we need to do that?
More fanfare, we get more publicity.
Yeah, we need more entrances. We need more.
Yeah. Well, just something to appeal more to the average person, because this kind of stuff, like, it amazes me that like this isn't on ESPN.
Right.
You got cornhole on ESPN.
Right.
It makes no sense to me.
Right.
This is like the most primal stuff ever, you know.
Right.
And it's not too like brain damaging like Muay Thai.
Right. It's
like
not
that.
bloody.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's truly intelligent martial art.
Right.
And there's still two bears going at it, you know.
And this looks great, and I understand it, but at the end of the day, if you look at someone that doesn't necessarily, you look into a casual or someone that isn't doing the sport, that looks like mats on a floor.
Yeah.
That's not a stage.
And two guys hugging.
Yeah. I mean, the techniques aside, I can tell that is a basketball court or concrete floor with mats on it.
Do you think an elevated platform would be better?
If only because it looks like a stage.
Okay. Like fight to win.
Yeah.
What about a cage? Would you really be down for that kind of stuff? Grappling in a cage? Do you think that would add to the fanfare? Or do you think it'd make it a little worse? Or do you think it'd be like
my concern with that is they're like your casual fans would go like, why aren't they punching?
Yeah,
because they would confuse it with MMA.
Yeah, that's true.
I could see a ring or some sort of barrier,
some kind of like elevated platform.
Yeah,
maybe not a cage, but some kind of like platform they're in.
Because say what you want about Metamoris, it looked cool.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Right? Yeah. They couldn't afford it.
Yeah, I know exactly. You're still in debt to athletes a couple years later, but yeah.
But it looked cool. I saw what they were trying to do with it, and especially the first one where they had drummers and they had entrances and all of that. I'm like, all right, this is what we need. And you see fight to win, and it kind of
touches it.
Yeah, it kind of touches it. Right? It's a different vibe, and I don't know what the vibe should be, but do that, right?
Yeah.
Which explains why they're so popular, right? Yeah. Look at Quintet. Look at how Quintet looked.
Oh my god, that was. I think that was one of the cooler things in grappling I've seen in a while.
Right. I get that it's expensive, but you look at Quintet and you're like, that is freaking awesome.
Yeah.
I want to be in front of the giant jumbotron wall screen thing. You know what I mean?
And then I think the 5-on-5 has another dynamic.
Such a good idea because it builds in drama.
Yeah. It's almost like the tournament style format, but it's just a team thing though.
So I always thought a really good idea too would be like a round robin style format, but turn each bracket into its own story and do something like if you win, have points or whatever, right? Or let's say you even go decision, right? So you can either win by there's draw, decision, or submission.
Draw, decision.
Draws are 0, decisions are 1 point, but make like submissions like 4 points.
Okay. So you really, really want to go for that.
So let's say you could have a guy. You had a guy that did 0, or you had a competitor that did 1 decision and three or 1 draw and 3 decisions, right? Technically, he hasn't lost a match.
Right.
You have a guy that loses 3 but gets 1 submission. He's now ahead of the person that just eked out the decisions.
So it's almost like a wrestling duel kind of thing. Like a pin is worth more than like a decision win.
Exactly. But make the submission so much more worth it that I think you'll end up, because what happens is you'll get in the later round. And they're like, if you want to stay in this, like he needs a submission now if he's going to stay in this, right?
Yeah.
And then what you could do is for the semis, that's like you take the top 2, 1 or 2 from each division. You have the semi, and then the winners of those 2 go in and go to the finals. But you build in drama because you will have guys like if he gets a submission right now, he moves on. But if he gets anything but submission,
yeah, he's gone because
he's gone.
Not worth the points. Right. He's not at that points to carry him through the next round.
Because that's the other thing with, and I'm not necessarily negative on IBJF, but the problem is I love the stuff and I can barely follow it.
Right.
Like you look at a PANS where they have 3,000 competitors. What the F do I watch? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
it's almost too much. It's oversaturated.
And I feel like the big problem with that is it's hard to follow the story. There's no story.
Ooh, I think they're doing the.
Are we going finals?
Oh, I mean, it looks like they're like the lights are going off. I think they're getting that fan.
Oh, finally!
I don't know. Honestly, have you heard Kenny Florian talk once?
No.
Because like every time I look, they're muting the guy. I almost feel bad for him because he's just like I never hear his voice, but he's like on the main screen. But I've never heard him say one thing.
Well, we're not playing them. I'm sure other people are hearing them.
No, but even then, like I was in the gym.
Oh, you're watching it? Really?
And just he was like muted.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's terrible.
Yeah,
you literally have an ESPN caliber broadcaster, and you're like
former title challenger Kenny Florian. Yeah, literally just.
What I like about Kenny Florian is because he was a big jiu-jitsu guy too. He's like he's come back to it, like because he does stuff with the IBJF and.
Oh, drums?
Nice. This is what I'm talking about.
There we go.
I don't know how they pulled it together so fast after hearing me
I
say
think
that.
they heard you. Yeah, they heard you. I think that's all shit. I gotta up my game.
Also, where's Kevin? We need to talk about this jacket.
Yeah. This fashion statement. Yeah, get back on the phone.
So this
guy's fitted. It's like a Bruce Buffer prototype.
Does his bow tie actually light up, or is it just reflecting?
It probably spins too.
Yeah.
Like propels him.
Takes it off and throws like a battery.
I wonder who's coming first.
I mean, K-Flow's this Meta Morris.
Yeah.
This looks a little more out of the Fight to Win playbook, but well, I guess they're drums, right?
Yeah. Seems like a little more Fight to Win ish.
See, I would go a different direction. I'd go brass.
Brass.
Just
Oh, like Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah, this looks
there we
pretty
go.
Sweet. This looks pretty sweet.
Oh, they've got the Jumbotron.
Who is it? Oh.
This is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
This is how you get athletes paid. Oh, Flo. Never change Flo. Not that you will. Look at Sean Williams is stoked. Sean Williams is a GD national treasure. There, I said it.
Drums. Look at that. That's primal. Yeah, I'm talk about getting hyped for the finals match. This is how you do it.
Yeah, nobody's wearing earphones.
No, not at all.
You imagine he's going to put his beats on. He's like, nah, I'm good.
Never mind. I'm good. I got the beat of the drum. I'm good to go. I don't want to ruin this. Well, yeah, this comes once every 2 years. Yeah, I'm like, of course, this is cool.
This is what we need.
Yeah. That's because you were just talking about the fanfare. Look at that.
Like I said, I don't know how they turn it around so quickly.
Yeah, he's watching. He got on his phone and his iPad. He's, I need the biggest drums.
Get Uncle Bobby over here and tell him to bring his bow tie. I've got some ideas.
And his best suit.
No, the red one.
Nick Rodriguez said there's smoke in the arena.
Yeah, if we see him coughing, we know what happened.
Are you guys gonna? No. Ooh. Nick Rodriguez. This is the blue belt, ladies and gentlemen. A blue belt.
Sorry, guys. Let me take my shirt off real quick.
If you see his Instagram, that's all he does. I had to unfollow him.
It was. I admit it was jealousy.
Oh yeah. It was envy.
You don't get to eat pancakes and have abs. Yeah. Go fuck yourself.
Pancakes are worth it. No abs. Chocolate chip. That's the LA I know.
So this is. Excuse me, bro.
It's not my bad.
No, you're good. So this is the 99 plus category. Kenyon Duarch versus Nikki Rodriguez. Excuse me. I am excited about this match. Literally could go. I mean, all of these quarterfinals have basically been finals matches, but this could go anywhere.
Nick Rodriguez.
Nick with the heavy collar tie.
I like it. I like when he does like almost like the Muay Thai clinch on the head. Really, really good at breaking guys down to their knees.
So you mentioned that because we've been training a lot, snap downs and inside ties, just because it sets the world up.
Yeah, no, for sure, and it kills that lower back too.
Right. Look, I'm not trying to injure people, but if it gets a little dub, no, joking. But seriously,
you asking me to quit is you asking me to quit.
There's a way out. There's that S tie you were talking about.
Very effective.
You can tell immediately. Canyon's like, nope, no.
Don't want no part of that. Too good at breaking that pressure down.
It's worth noting, and not that this is to his disadvantage, but Canyon's actually pretty short for the division. Obviously, very strong, very athletic. But I think one of the advantages Nikki could really try to really try to leverage is his length.
Yeah, you kind of attack his head from farther away, kind of push him around, bully him. Nicky's so good against the inside collar tie.
Yeah.
He doesn't accept anything else. There we go. Yeah.
And that's the hard thing to talk about is the instincts and sort of the balance of like a Division I caliber wrestler, right? Where as soon as he's touching you, you can feel it affecting your balance, affecting your weight.
Yeah, he's finding your weight and he's moving it around with his grips. Ooh,
right.
Flying shit.
Second only to spinning shit.
Yeah. Nick Diaz, Carlos Condit.
On the Keenan Cornelius instructional, he has a section literally called Fancy Spinning Shit.
Oh, nice.
It's rad.
The Keenan Online?
The lapel
encyclopedia?
Yeah.
Nice.
Which I don't think you played guard, but if you ever do, the lapel stuff's super fun.
I do guard. I just haven't done gi in so long.
I mean gi, sorry. Yeah. I just took the G word, the first G word I could find. Just spit it.
But I actually got my purple in gi. I spent like 5 years in the gi. I loved it. But when I moved down to SoCal like 5 years ago.
Right.
And just been strictly.
I mean, if you're gonna make a living at it, the no gi's probably.
Yeah, no gi's the way to go.
Yeah,
for sure.
I wish it were the other way, but it's not. The only way to make a living in the gis is to go to the Olympics in judo.
Yeah, that's really about it. But even then, like even after you win a gold,
you're done afterwards.
What are you gonna do then?
Go to MMA or start
like Ronda,
or start Fuji Sports.
Ooh,
like Jimmy Pedro and those guys.
Yeah, definitely starting being the entrepreneur is definitely the better route if you have a good quality product.
I did that by flexing my muscles.
Dang, can you do it again?
For those outside, we there was someone riding a motorcycle outside.
Someone's living free. There they go.
Their motorcycle sounds like Gary Tonon's outfit looks.
Yeah. Now, that guy, year to year, has the most ridiculous outfits, but he probably just paid decent money to wear them. So that Muay Thai clinch.
What I say about a spectacle? I got to give it to Canyon for standing his own on his feet.
Well, for sure, that first guard is the feet. You know, I don't think he wants to deal with Nick's pressure. Oh, this is a 20-minute match. Oh yeah, finals.
Speaking of Metamors.
Hoping so. Nick with that inside control. Both guys still just kind of in the grip. Ooh.
Didn't see that happen coming.
Takes him almost off the mat. Nick does not seem very worried. Almost in that mercy-like kind of area.
Not to belabor this point, but we are technically watching a blue belt go against a black belt.
Yeah.
I mean, heavy quotation marks around blue belt.
D1 blue belt.
Yeah.
Wrestled for over 10 years.
We were talking about that last night, is the power of, you got a guy with the athleticism, the balance, and the understanding and pressure of a D1 wrestler, but then you have a strong like curriculum and system like the Denver guys have, where they can walk you like, this is what we do because this is what wins, right? So just apply your athleticism to that. I think that's kind of what we're seeing in Nicky Rod.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a 1 in 10,000 athlete, but
freak of nature for sure.
Right.
Just look at him.
Cool. We have a special guest coming up, Jake Watson. He will be dialing in soon, theoretically. We'll wait for that magical sound and we'll have him give us his thoughts on this Canyon Nicky Rod match. I now have to think about not saying Nicky Ryan after I've done it once.
All it takes is one time.
There's a joke in there somewhere. Look at Canyon coming with that S grip clinch now.
Both of them. Seems like a really superior grip, just to weigh on that head really well.
Hello.
Hey, Jake, you there?
Yep, I'm here. Loosen the tie.
Watching. So, what do you think of this match thus far? The Nicky Rod versus Canyon.
I I mean, Kynan is look, man. He just looks so strong. I'm watching the fight, and I noticed that Nick probably wants to get some offense. I mean, now he's on top, but earlier in the match, he wanted to get some offense going with the takedowns. But Kynan just seems super composed. He keeps his like shoulders forward and his hips back, so it's kind of hard to initiate a takedown. But right now, they're just like kind of in a stalemate. It looks like.
Yeah. Kanan's on bottom with that Z guard.
I mean, I can't help but think that despite how great of shape and conditioning you might be in, a 20-minute match changes things. Would you agree?
I would, yeah, because in a 10-minute match, you can stay a lot more reserved and patient, but now you double that. You can really think about what you're doing, try to maybe make them tired and frustrated. That's what Kynan's pretty good at. He just, like I was saying earlier, he makes it so it's hard for you to do something, and he can move forward. And Nick likes to, like Nick Rodriguez, you saw in the Cyborg fight, he really wanted to use very dynamic athletic passing to try to get things going, and kind of makes it hard to do that. He's holding the knee shield really tight here to lock down the left hip.
Well, yeah, I mean, when you saw that with Nick versus Orlando, right? I would argue he pretty much won that match off of output.
I didn't get to see that match. I was watching the semifinals to see kind of how they were doing today. And the fight versus Orlando, I heard that that was just hard for Orlando to get anything going, right?
Yeah, and he was just doing a lot of forward pressure, a lot of like collar tie and shuck buys, and just moving Orlando and keeping the forward pressure, not letting Orlando set and sort of do what Orlando does, which is heavy grinding forward pressure.
You see what Nick just did there? That's the kind of passing that I'm talking about. He really likes that cartwheel pass to try to get his opponent to move their hips so he can look for something off of it.
And I think that plays to his length too, right? Because he's tall, so he comes from the other side.
Well, he's gigantic. Look at him.
Yeah,
dude is gigantic. And Kynan's big too. He's like got the he used to have just like the prison body. He had a super big upper body and then lower body wasn't there, but now he's really just a gigantic. I mean, he walks around like 220 pounds and he's like 4 inches shorter than me.
I heard Andre walked him personally over to the squat rack. He's like, "You live here now."
Yeah.
You mentioned this, and I have to agree, and that's one thing I do admire about Kenyon, and he always seems very composed, right? Mm-hmm. Like he's always digesting and analyzing what's going on.
I feel like that happens a lot when you compete a lot, though. Like the kid's been, right. I've known him since he was new purple belt. I was I was one of the first people he beat coming to America. I went on a jiu-jitsu.net thing, and I just remember like, oh my god, this kid shut me down completely. And like over time, you'll see a lot of black belts. He's gonna have that same face the whole fight, just jaw forward, kind of relaxed.
That's good. The whole fight. It's like if he's happy, he doesn't show it. If he's sad, he doesn't show it. And just very stoic.
This could be.
I can't help but think that's going to serve him in a 20-minute match, right, where he's not needlessly expending a lot of energy.
Mm-hmm. I like this. I like the idea of leg entanglement by Nick, though. Stiff arm. It might be good. It might play because all the blue basement guys, they have really good leg entanglement. And I haven't seen Kynan do a lot of that. He's more of a fundamental, old school. I feel like he's like one of the more old school guys that are new school, right? Like he does really fundamental, basic stuff.
It's like a hybrid.
Yeah. If you want to show your kids competitors Kynan videos and they'll understand it. He takes the back from the single X by literally like sitting on his side and he takes the back like magic.
I go here
insane.
Now.
Literally, he just be standing, he'll push the foot, sit, and then he has your back. And you're like, how did that even happen? It looked so easy.
I gotta learn that.
Shoot, me too.
Step 1, be Canyon.
Yes. Step 1, be 50 times stronger than I am now. Step 2, be 50 times more confident in that technique than I am now. Mm-hmm. Also, dye your hair. That's another secret.
Ooh, little sassy kick.
Mm-hmm.
Can you play in the lows?
Try to go to full guard. Nick said no.
Like every time Nick rejects him, he should yell Division 1. Division 1. Division 1. So
D1. One thing I really like that Kynan's doing is every time Nick attempts to pull him flat, because Nick wants to get past that top leg. Every time Nick wants to pull him flat, Kynan will bring out the bottom leg and put it in front, like you see there, to give an extra shield.
Like a lower knee shield.
Mm-hmm, and then it opens up attacks like this to spin under or to keep himself safe. You saw earlier he went for the closed guard off of it.
Yeah, using all
like just there. Frames.
It's kind of similar to what Adam Virginski does too.
Yeah, and Kynan and Adam have fought all the time too. And
Yeah.
I saw Adam on the Flow Grappling rankings. He was ranked really high. I haven't seen Adam compete in no-gi. I'd really like to see that.
He won his first match, but lost his second to Josh Hinger with a Hinger team.
Ooh, this could be a good look for Nick Rodriguez though. Look at this.
Coming over, taking the back.
Got the claw, the swallow ride possibly. No hooks.
Oh my goodness.
No. Kane is getting his back to the mat.
That's going to be good though. We got 8 minutes and 30 seconds left. If it does go to, I mean, I don't imagine how the fight's going now. They'd probably make it go to overtime. Just that's not enough to warrant a decision, I don't think. Just judging how they've been doing the fights today.
I'd like to point out we're in the time frame now where Nick can start really relying on his output. Like he has the gas for 8 minutes, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Well, that is. There's something to be said for the fact that 11 minutes and 30 seconds have gone by, though. Like, that's still kind of tiring, especially when
for sure.
Both of these guys are so strong. They're probably putting out so much energy just with their arms alone.
Yeah.
There's a little bit static holds are sometimes the most tiring.
Yeah, just trying to grip somebody.
And no-gi, you're doing a lot of this with your forearm as opposed to, like, a lot of gi competitors are used to literally just doing this with their hands.
Right.
Whereas, like, you're doing this and a lot of, like, it's a lot of forearm. That burns.
Yeah, that, like, rotational pressure.
Mm-hmm. And it's awkward.
Tugging.
No-gi's way more slippery, and it's way harder to get things going, I feel like, than in the gi, just in my own experience being a gi competitor myself.
So this is interesting. Kenyon, I'll notice when he's playing the Z, he'll really start grabbing that near side arm.
Ooh, and now kind of reversing.
Dang. And Kenyon going for the back.
It's always awesome when the bottom guy tries to switch it up and go, no, I'm going to stand up and get on top now.
This is a very even fight. Man, his ADCC has been nuts.
Yeah. It's been awesome.
It's been the slimmest margins we've seen in a while, right?
Everyone's so damn good.
You see Nick start out in ref's position? He like had that habit and the ref had to be like, no, go on your elbow.
I was just saying, like, ref's position. Oh, dang.
Uh-oh.
Kenyon working for the back. That's
both
two hooks.
One.
But he didn't hold is the ADCC rule the same as IBJJF where you have to hold the hooks, or do you get points for back control?
You get points
even with
for
the body
control,
triangle.
I think body triangle and hook, same thing as back control.
All right. Then that was smart by Kynan to lock up the back control. He can ride this for a very long time.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, I'm gonna steal you. Get out. Jake, here's the thing, dude. Can you hear me?
I can. Yep, you're yelling.
I have a very, very powerful voice. I know. So here's the thing, dude.
It's not the volume; it's the bass.
I'm so glad that you're watching right now because you have a vested interest in this.
Yes, I do.
No. In two ways. Because, my friend, this is what's happening right now on the bracket.
Okay. Wait, what? Kiyoshi?
Wait. Did I grab the wrong one?
Did you get the Super Mario bracket?
Do you see Nick Rodriguez right now is who you have in the bracket?
In the bracket?
Yep.
He's Nick Kynan Dwarch versus Nick Rodriguez. That's what we're watching right now. I don't understand what you mean.
Wait.
Is that my Pokemon?
He's saying, what's the point of this?
Yeah, he wants to know why his name's on there.
I want to know why.
Raph, tell him what does he get if he wins.
Dude, I don't understand. Raph didn't tell me. Raph did not tell me who my Pokemon was.
Do we have the wrong person? Because we have Alameda advancing. So it actually should be Kiyoshi versus
Raph rolls in. Do you have your passport?
Okay, everybody shut up. Here's what's happening. We had Alameda on here.
Alameda.
This doesn't change what your problem is right now, which is that you have Nick Rodriguez on this raffle.
Oh. Well, I mean, I'm probably going to lose. It's not looking good. It's not looking good for I mean, Kynan's it looks like he's getting closer and closer to sinking the choke as time goes on.
How much time do we have left in this round? 5 minutes?
5 minutes and 12 seconds.
Well, I mean, I just want to make sure that you know one thing, which is that you are 100% invested in this final. So it is in your best interest to know what's going on and who's winning and how's it going. We're actually going to do some bracket reveals right now.
Oh, awesome! Because I actually wanted to know. I wanted to know who was all going to sign up for the absolute. I'm over here keeping track of brackets. I got notes.
No, I don't have an absolute bracket. I have our raffle bracket.
Oh, okay.
This
got
is
you.
again, this is very different news than you seem to be interested in.
Well,
But
here's the thing: is you didn't tell me who my fighter was.
yeah,
You
that's
told me
what
it
we're
was going to be
doing
Dylan
right
Dennis,
now.
and then he pulled
Listen,
out.
Jake, I'm going to tell you something about television. Do you know anything about television?
This is an internet show.
There we go. So you call it building anticipation, my friend. You
Oh.
build to the anticipation. You make sure
Okay.
that people are interested. The big
Okay.
reason why we have people in the comment section is they want to know who the F is going to win these prizes.
Well, I don't see it going too well for my person you chose for me right now. He's having a
I didn't
difficult
choose
time
it for
feeling his
you.
body triangle.
The Lord or some weird bot that I said, hey, choose these people for me. You chose it
The
for
random
you.
seed generator chose it for me.
Yeah, because here's the thing. Some of the people in this room did not get good show ponies, and I don't really want to talk about it too much. I don't want to talk about what's going on with Michael John just yet, but I know Octavio won't be pleased with me.
And as the person that's actually controlling this feed, that is terrifying.
Yeah, I know. I might actually go X out his branding over here. We've had a lot of special guests come in throughout the day, but we're going to get to a couple in just a minute. But I wanted to make sure that, Jake, you are aware of this and that you know what's going on. So here's what's happening. I'm going to do some bracket reveals. We're going to let you get off the air, but I need to do just two things. One, I need to make sure that my team is fed. So I'm going to go coordinate with that. I'm going to actually tag Mike John back in just a second. But, Jake, we will be catching up with you in a little bit, okay?
All right, cool. I'll be doing more notes and watching the finals. And
all right, I know.
Hey, finish your math homework too.
My math homework is already done. It was done 3 years ago when I was in high school. But I loosened the tie. See?
I was about to ask, did you loosen the tie? And then I saw it ever so slightly move there. Rodney Dangerfield, you could do a little better here, okay?
I don't know who that is.
Oh, man. Yeah, I know. You gave it away when you said, I just got out of high school 3 years ago. So the rest of the people in this room feel old.
He meant he got out of this 10-year reunion 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
No, he's a baby. Anyway, Jake, thank you very much for your time. We'll see you in a little bit, bud.
All right, I'll see you in a little bit. Thank you.
All right. So here's what's going to happen. We're going to tag Mike John back in for just a couple minutes. And then in just a second, you guys are going to see the bracket so that you know whether you're stressed, whether you're okay, or whether you're stressed and okay at the same time. Think about that. All right. BRBs.
Let's take a look at the comments. Fancy your hot takes on the finalists. So we're asking about the fashion choices of the finalists. To echo our fashion correspondent, all black, looking like a half-naked funeral right now. Nikki Rod does have a very large, what looks to be like an Aztec scroll pattern on the outside of his shorts, which fits in with the funeral motif, so I kind of back it. Canyon Duarch just basically looks like a Ninja Sea line, so he can just keep on with that.
Preserving that back control. He's got to create some serious motion that Nick Rodriguez if he wants to have any shot in his last minute and 33 seconds.
I mean, this is literally the game plan, right? Is lock him up, don't let him make any separation because that's where.
This is it, right?
Right.
You gotta create any kind of motion. I always say Vichy's getting out of that wire triangle personally. Always, that's the worst.
Well, the one of the ways out of it, right, is to start pummeling the leg over the top in the front, but it's hard because you have to use both your legs to fight their one, and they can just windshield wiper their leg all over the place.
Switch it over, yeah.
And then belly down
is the worst.
It's terrible. He looks like he's digging for the neck or the face crank, which I call the making friends choke.
Yeah.
Because that's how you make friends.
That's how you get people to hate you. But hey, anything under the nose is a choke, right? Oh. 20 seconds left. Nick, what can
And apparently you can strangle one's gums. 10 seconds. This is going to require Herculean effort or some.
Oh my goodness.
And I am pretty sure Canyon has incredible. What, you've got to be joking. Nikki trying to go for the back. Oh, dang. So close. It's worth noting that because Kenyon was down to, had Nikki secured back position, he would have actually won
That was crazy.
by negative points. Incredible. Kenyon Duarchi is your...
Rashford's coming off.
Terry, I'm going to tag you in, Terry. We need a women's perspective on this. Oh, they're going to have an ab off. I knew it. It's all led to this, people. And Kenyon Duarchi is your ADCC greater than 99 kilogram champion.
Hard fought. 12 minutes of just having to chill. Someone takes the back and rides him out.
A quick note. Next time, if Nicky Rod makes it to the ADCCs, he will literally have twice as much training experience as this time. Just let that one marinate through your brain meats.
What does that mean?
Arguably, he'll be twice as good at jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. Kenny Florian.
K-Flow maintaining the funeral theme.
No interview, I guess, huh?
Hey, Kenny, could we... No? All right.
He's been getting the cold shoulder all day, man. I'm a huge Kenny fan. Good for Duarte, man. Not easy.
I don't know if I had that. I don't know if I had that needle in...
I did not. I thought it'd be Nick all day. I thought it'd be wrestling would be too much for him. You know, this guy's undersized, but those shows what I know.
Yeah, can Nikki and Kenyon try less than 99 kilograms? Because I think that's their natural... Those are their actual weight classes.
Well, I feel like Kenyon more than Nikki. I feel like Nikki's too big, yeah?
Nikki's like 215, 220.
Really?
Yeah, he's almost at the dead bottom of this weight category.
Oh, shit. Wow.
Could you imagine his height advantage at less than 99?
Yeah, he'd be huge.
Right? Because let me look at my notes, right? Less than 99 this year was Tim Spriggs, Gordon Ryan moved down. It would be Tex Johnson, Vinny Magash, Felipe Andrew, Vinicus Ferreira, James Popolo. Like James Popolo, I think would be the only person with any height on him.
Yeah.
And Dan Martinez.
So, he won the Ultimate Mat Warriors.
Yeah.
So yeah, he looked really good. He's in combat jiu-jitsu too, from what I said. He looked good. Yeah. But yeah, I can only imagine the height
right
advantage he would have down there. Wait, do you think they could both make it, you think, down there? Nick Rodriguez too?
I don't think Kenyon's that heavy. Yeah. I think the only reason that he moved up was because Hulk was in under 99.
Okay, yeah.
And I think he has seniority.
Worked out pretty well then.
Yeah, right? Say what you will about Achos, the lack of strategy is not not it.
I mean, like their captain is one of the best strategists in ADCC history. So.
Right. Sure. Yeah, because it was Hulk up in 99. But again, they rolled and won, so.
Yeah.
Oh, Uncle Bobby's back on the mic.
Oh, with that bow tie.
What if it changes? Like per division? Different color?
And it goes like rainbow or like it lights up. Who do we got next?
So we're moving on to our next final match.
With all the fanfare.
I think they have a photographer fight. Oh, nope, it's not a photographer fight. Just as you can, they're currently broadcasting on a certain Flow Grappling. That would be the legal and moral way to watch it. So we have Vinicus Gazzola. This is the less than 99 category versus Gordon. So the question is, can Gordon take a second title at ADCC, or Vinicius or a new player? Is he going to take it for the first time? Vinicius with a bit of an upset against Vinny Magalhães.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be the Vinny Gordon show in the finals.
I think a lot of us, if we were betting people,
Shared that.
which I only bet for In and Out, but if we were betting people, I would have, obviously. That should just be the menu.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. Actually, whenever I have tournaments coming out, I do the salad. I get the protein style.
Yeah. Have you ever had a Flying Dutchman?
No, it's like the 2 patties, right?
Get a Flying Dutchman with grilled onions.
Yeah,
because they put the onions between the patties and then
wash it together.
Yeah.
I've heard about it. Never. Ooh, the king. The king is here.
Speaking of fashion statements,
Let's look at an avatar on his chest.
Does he touch it and that's how he activates?
Yes. Remember before he goes out there, he activates all his powers.
It just like zips behind him into like a little fanny pack and he's like ready.
Ready to go.
Rumored that Gordon was either fighting or had fought food poisoning leading up to this.
Yeah. Looks like he's handling it pretty
Which is a next level like head game to play is if you don't know if he might puke on you.
Yeah, or the other one. The other way.
Right? Wait, you might puke on him?
Well, not more. It's still him doing something on you.
You just start saying effed up things. I might get some in your mouth.
Yeah, don't squeeze that bar triangle.
Gordon with a heavy collar tie. I mean, it's important to remember that A, the Blue Basement has been working a lot in their wrestling, and B, Nicky Rod is one of Gordon's main training partners. So I think we were seeing a different era of stand-up from Gordon.
Yeah, Gordon's been really good on those inside collar ties. I haven't seen him use that 10-finger grip that Nicky's been using, but really good at hitting that shuck by.
For my money, like the shuck by, a lot of that heavy collar action and the foot sweeps are some of the most sort of, I don't know, they get in my, at least they get in my head the most because you don't even trust your footing.
Yeah. Or your grips either, you know?
Right.
Yeah, you have a good collar tie, next thing you know, they shuck them by into like Russian 2-on-1.
Right.
It's a single leg. It's all very tricky. It's kind of almost like rock, paper, scissors.
Exactly. Yeah, no, absolutely. Interesting. In the past, we've seen Gordon pull almost immediately. Part of me wants to say he's making a statement by standing.
Interesting. I think if we pull, we'll see him do it right for the points. So we're going to be in position to do his best work from there. And not have to worry about the negative. Single attempt. Doesn't try to run the pipe.
You know, another year go for this, but at EBI, Gordon scored a pretty quick win against Kyle Griffin off of a Kanibasi from a similar, like a scissor takedown from a similar single leg pick. So if he doesn't seem urgent to get out of that single leg, I can't help but think that he always has that in his back pocket.
That or no, if you commit to it, you got the Kimura grip too.
Right.
It's kind of a risky, assuming you don't get the takedown.
But Gordon is a master of that Kimura trap, Kimura grip system.
He's good at everything, man. He's just the king. Ooh, body lock.
That's also why you're in the gym 30 hours a week, right?
Yeah. His social media documents him of him sleeping on the mats because he's there so much.
Right. It sucks. I'm stuck at work and I want to take a nap, but I can't.
Yeah. Yeah.
I tried using the Gordon does it excuse and my boss was not having it.
He's like, Gordon who?
Who?
What?
From HR? No.
No. Not from corporate.
Hey, get out of it. Right. Oh, wait, no, stay there. Hold on.
Am I winning this?
Mike, if I were you, I would file a complaint with the union. This is bullshit.
Shut up. There's no respect here.
Listen, guys, a very unfortunate thing. Nobody showed up to beat you up. I'm really sad.
It's okay.
I thought that even putting a bounty on your head would give people the opportunity to tell them that they didn't like you.
Yeah, exactly. I thought so too. I thought that I was allowed.
Mike, let's
But
let's
here's
grapple.
what I'm
We'll
gonna
split
tell
the money.
you.
We'll split the money. I'll take an easy L. We'll split the money.
Sushi effort.
This is literally 3 men and a baby now at this point. I want to point this out. I'm going to give you an opportunity right now.
What's up?
Okay? The opportunity is very, very important. The last person who did this went to ADCC.
Okay.
So will you help us?
I'll take it easy. I'll send you to
by holding
ADCC
the
2080.
brackets
Let's
and
do
helping
this.
us announce
Yep.
who did it. Now again,
All
Keith
right.
Krikorian went to ADCC.
After doing this.
So it may look like menial labor, and it is. So don't tell a labor board. But he went
And
to
that's on the
ADCC,
internet.
which means you could potentially go non-binding in the future.
Yeah.
Could potentially in the future go. Cannot promise you anything. Not in charge of anything.
I can't see any of the matches.
Yep. That's what we're getting. I mean, are you really missing anything?
Kind of.
Well, here's the thing. We already just did this. So who
Let
won
me
that
pick-
last one? Was it Duarte or Rodriguez?
Duarte.
So that means that Kiyoshi, you have won the North-South Jiu-Jitsu Underwear Presents 99 plus K. So that means that North-South Jiu-Jitsu will be shipping you some nice apparel. I know them personally.
Go Kiyoshi.
They are a sponsor of the Verbal Tap podcast. They're a
That's
very
like
proud
that's
sponsor.
like the marathon they ran in the office. The Pro-Am 99K special edition.
Shut up. This is how we pay the bills. Anyway, we want to say thank you to our friends at North-South Jiu-Jitsu who help us out and who are a proud sponsor of all things grappling. And if you like them just for grappling, don't struggle. You're stronger than that.
No, you're right.
So,
So
Octavio, did we get a zoom in on it?
Gordon's in half guard trying to work on a passing.
Thank you.
I'm waiting for him to get the pass and then reach into his shorts and pull out a copy of his passing instructional and just be like,
So anyway, that's
It's free on YouTube.
SOC, Duarte, Kiyoshi. As we had an error over here, we thought that Buchecha had actually advanced. So we thought that it was Pat Moran. Pat, we're very sorry. I have nothing to give you. But
Gordon with a
you don't
basic
win
padlock
anything.
pass in the half guard.
All right. Careful with your fingers.
Okay.
But he's still at
All right.
14 minutes, so I think
Coming
he's
up
just
next.
grinding it out.
Is the Luda Gear Presents. And right now we are watching the 99 kg. So Akon and Sarah Andrada, you guys are in the running right now. So if you didn't have a pony in this, one of you may be rooting for Gordon Ryan, AV, and one of you, Sarah, may be hoping that some magic happens with Garzola right here, as he seems to be. I don't want to ruin this. I don't want to make you guys feel like we're scheming on this one or that we've planned anything. But it did look very conspicuous that the moment I said, "Oh, Garzola's in trouble," all of a sudden he started working his way
Gordon
up
with
to
a
say,
knee tap.
"Listen, Sarah,
Underhook
I'm going
knee
to win
tap.
this for you. I'm going to win this Luda Gear package for you. So don't
Gordon with-
worry. I'm putting more work out there. Except now he's underneath again.
Gordon
so
with a
there's
heavy
that.
half guard pass, just trying
Stop
to
looking around. That's not your job.
hips
All
high,
right,
trying to
here
cut
we go
through for
on
the knee
this
cut.
one. We're going to our next division,
Give me that YouTube
and
number.
you don't get to talk. It picks up the microphone.
Sorry.
Anyway, here's what's going on this one.
Mikey
In
just
the
apologized.
BJJ Fanatics presents 88 kg. We've got Jared Dell versus Brandon Newmeyer. So if you didn't like Craig Jones before, I hope that you learn to like him now, Jared. And Brad, it looks like you're close with Denise. So the question is the spoiler going to happen? You will be getting your choice of whatever BJJ Fanatics DVD you like. Just one, not the whole Danaher collection. Just one goddamn DVD.
That's still $300 GD dollars.
Yeah, you're welcome, people. Stop messing it up. It's important.
You did that.
You did it. Don't yell at me from here.
So Gordon's stuck in half guard,
All right,
trying to
here
do
we
the
go.
windshield wiper with
Actually,
the foot.
can you do me a solid? Can you lower this down? Lower. I want you to read like a child over this.
Yeah. I can't read.
Well, that's
Like
a
at
different
all?
issue we have together,
Well, I
so
just
we're
can't
gonna
see.
put this back up.
Okay.
I can't read. No good. Can you help me with my words? Here's what we got going on. The
Michael's on one.
CBD Yumi presents 77 kg. In the finals, we have JT Torres, whose Poke Master is Mike John, versus Derek Flagg, who has Wagner Rocha.
Ooh.
The winner of this gets a prize package from CBD Yumi.
That's right, everyone. Just scream out when you hear your name.
So, hey, question, real quick. Do you use CBD? Are you a fan of it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Check it out.
That was the easiest sell we've ever had. All right. Hey, stop talking.
Sorry, I'm done.
There we go. All right. This next one is Leg Locker presents 66 kg, getting a prize package from our good friends over at Leg Locker. It is Kate Harris versus Pat Hoffman. Kate Harris versus Pat Hoffman. I hope that you guys are excited for this. Moving on. Sarah just saw on there. She goes, yes. Thanks, Sarah. I'm glad you're excited. Good luck. Hope your Pokemon wins. All right, here we go. This one is the So Right Presents. And right now, it is Laura Kent versus M. Acosta. I think it's Mike. I'm sorry. I have a friend named Mike Acosta, so I'm not sure. It's not him.
Vinicus on a leg lock attempt on Gordon. Gordon working to the back.
Oh, stop doing play like that. No one cares. Everyone's already just like, Gordon, are you winning or not?
He's doing it for Mike.
Thank you so much.
Gordon with the body lock.
Dude, sign. Yeah. No, we gotta fix that. Fix that.
I'll be back.
Dude, be productive, dude. Not you, Dane. Dane, you can do no wrong. All right, let me go.
I can do a lot of wrong things.
How did I do wrong while doing right? Gordon with the back tack system.
That looks pretty good to me.
He's got the under grip. He's working on digging through to the face. He has the arm wrapped.
VHTS. Very hard to submit. Our good
Finger
friends over
crawling.
there.
It's under the chin.
No one can. Oh.
Rotational finish. And that was the finish. Gordon by rear naked.
Let's undo those brackets, Ralph.
Hold this.
Yes, sir.
It looks like AV Con is going to take that one. Congratulations to
And
Gordon
Gordon
and A Con. Thank you.
And Gordon Ryan is your under 99 kilogram 2019 ADCC champion.
All right, here we go. We now are telling people the VHTS presents. It is Keith Kikorian, who has Fionn Davies, versus Frank Ruiz.
That's a
Esposito.
great pick.
So, good luck to you guys. You would be getting a prize package from our good friends over at Very Hard to Submit. Them's your brackets, folks. Now, here's the thing. Let's say your Pokemon didn't win, right? And it sucks. If your Pokemon gets selected for an absolute category, you still get to live another day. So for you, why are they having a strobe light?
Oh, they have a whole thing. They have lights.
It's called fanfare.
They have Uncle Bobby. Wait till you see Uncle Bobby. You're going to love him.
Wait, what's happening? Is this the production we're talking about?
Yes, we finally got our freaking lasers.
I'm excited.
This cost $1 million. All right.
Yep.
I mean, it's less pride and more like a growing sense of confidence.
It's gonna get you on ESPN, Ralph.
Isn't that the dream?
Yeah.
All right.
Ariel Hawani.
I don't. One can only hope. I can't tell you what Gordon is saying because we aren't listening to the audio. So I'm just gonna speak. I can speak fluent in Gordon. Actually, I'm the king, and it was pretty easy. I mean, I went out there and I just destroyed. I mean, I looked at people and I was like, "You suck," and my haircut is better than yours. And yeah, that's pretty much it. John Danaher also taught me how to talk, so that's what's going on right now.
Pretty accurate.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty happy with the tattoos I've gotten recently. I might get 4 more. If you're curious about which one, it's My Little Pony. Just because fuck the haters, you know. Bad day for the haters. Okay. This guy jerks off to wrestling but doesn't like lasers. Hilarious. Thanks, Tony. Let's go to the next one, which is Gordon now is just at the point of, I think, being somewhat humble. So, good news for him. This is a pretty amazing day. Jake Watson has also just realized he lost. Sorry, Jake. How can we see the fight? Well, you can pay a paywall. I mean, we're just describing the fight. But we should talk a little bit about you, Mike John. All right. So, man, nobody can.
It is what it is.
I'm sorry. Dude.
Let me switch with you, Mike.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, go get some food, dude. This is gonna. It's like when you're at a baseball game, you know.
Thank you so much.
You're like,
peanuts. Yeah, nobody came.
Nobody came. I know it's really sad.
Very
But
sad.
here's what we're
Very
gonna
sad.
do. What we will do, because I feel like now. Oh God.
Yeah, no, this is great. This is great.
Why is he wearing the Nightmare Before Christmas but in a suit?
Because it's called peacocking, Raph.
This is the silliest, dumbest thing I've seen. I'm so happy this is the production we're talking about.
Oh, Mateus Denise.
Oh God.
Where's Craig Jones?
I mean,
I like it.
yeah, no, it's cool. I mean, here's the thing. It's more than we've ever had. I will say that. It is also
More than we ever had.
staggeringly normal. And maybe that's a problem for our sport as compared to other sports. Somebody just said, when they said that they don't like lasers. Cool. That was a strobe light that was having a stroke. So I call that a stroke light.
Stroke light.
Stroke light. Yeah. Anyway, so Mike, here's what we're going to do.
What's up?
I'm pulling for you, man. I hope you win. But I have no control.
It's okay.
Would you like a CBD Yumi package, though?
Yeah. It'd be cool.
Have you had them before?
Never.
Pretty good. I think you'll
them.
enjoy it.
Yeah.
Craig Jones looking like he just woke up from the world's greatest trip in the world.
Dude, he's just such a chill guy.
Hey,
he has fun
man.
everywhere he goes.
I just woke up, man. But in Australia, you know?
Yeah, in Melbourne. Down under.
Same thing. So anyway, that's what we're gonna do for you, bud. We're gonna see how this plays out. But I'm very sorry that nobody came to beat you up. We will try and set up something in the future. But I'm gonna ask you to leave now.
Okay.
You can get out just because I want to talk to Rich.
Okay.
But if you want to stick around to see how your fights go, to see if you win the package, you're more than welcome to stick around. I'm not kicking you out. Why don't you go get some food if you want?
I would love you. Thank you so much.
Okay. Mike John, everybody.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Shake
No,
my hand,
I don't
fool.
want to shake your hand.
Well,
Shake my hand, fool.
Well, you did, so
You got really escapingly Mexican on that one. Shake my hand, fool. Like I'm turning into Octavio as we speak, fool. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to bring on somebody who has a super fight that he would like to talk about, as well as a number of other things. He was kind enough to come out of his way to chill with us this morning. But yesterday, he was all business with our good friend, Red Alarcon, and he can tell us a little bit about that experience as well as what he saw live in the main thing. Come on in, Rich Ariola, sir. Sorry, we don't have strobe lights or walkout music.
All right, thank you for having me.
We can't afford it.
Over here.
That's fine.
Hey, everyone.
I like that you came into this, especially with your hat and whatnot. You look like you're a celebrity incognito.
Oh.
So you look like somebody's supposed to take a photo of you and be like, they're just like us. And it's you going to the store. Rich, let me ask a question to you, buddy.
Sure.
Tell me a little bit about your super fight, because I got to tell you, man, I love giving Marcus shit. So Marcus has promoted the fight against you, and in case you don't know, retired fighter Marcus Kowal, one of the nicest human beings
Very
there is.
nice, yeah.
But he's putting together a super fight, and I saw that on there, and I normally say like, hey, I'm rooting for the other guy, but on this one I was like, yeah, I'm actively rooting against you, and he goes, I'm rooting for Rich too, and I was like, that's pretty funny. But tell us a little bit about that and how it came together.
I've fought Marcus before in the past as purple belt in gi. He's a really cool guy. I got a chance to talk to him briefly after the match and everything. And he told me about his organization called Liam's Life, which he started for his late son. And I thought the cause was great. When obviously, he's gotten his brown belts since then, we're brown belts now and whatnot. And a buddy of mine actually owns the USKO Fight Nights. And we thought about hosting a charity event. It's something I've always wanted to do with Marcus for a really long time. So I thought, hey, look, it's in a cage. Let's get together. I thought it'd be for a great cause. And I'm the one that proposed the idea that we donated all the proceeds to
Dude, that's awesome.
to his organization. I mean, he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
And I am truly passionate about helping others. So, I said, hey, look, you know what? Let's do this. Let's have a grappling match. And all the money we make off this, what I make, I'm just going to donate it all to your cause. And he was for it, and I knew the promotion. Let's get it set up. Let's do this, and it's going to be in a cage. So never rolled in a cage.
I was about to say, it's really funny. I actually went to go for one of the very first times. There was an area that had a cage toward it, and so when you're doing grappling, you're used to wall work, right?
Yeah.
And we're used to maybe working with professional athletes who fight in cages.
Yeah.
We don't.
Yeah.
But when I was against the cage, I immediately was like, ow,
yes.
Why would you do this?
Yes. Yeah, it's definitely a game changer. Like, we had to start drilling off the wall. Granted, it's not a cage, but but it definitely it plays a factor. And that cage does hurt, because I remember a while back our old gym was we had a cage, and I would help the fighters. Yeah. It sucks. It hurts. It really hurts. My back was all scarred up.
I was just like, they were just pushing me up, and it was like light training, so it wasn't even difficult. I was just in the process of almost like a chill roll with somebody, and I was like, they like just kind of push me into it, and I go, that's what this feels like?
Yeah.
No one should do this. I wanted to go back and tell everybody and be like, don't do that. Guys who fight in cages don't. But you will.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm very happy that you and Marcus are putting this together. I also want to talk about this match in just a minute. So we're letting them get in. It's about 16:24 left to go in the match. It looked for a split second like Craig Jones was kind of using almost like some rubber guard control and break down the posture of Mateus, and that's a lot to do. So Craig Jones is also probably still going to be highly contagious. So whoever wins is definitely still going to take home pink eye.
Yeah.
That's really what it is.
I saw him yesterday at the tournament, and he was on point. I mean, just all in all, like, I mean, he looked like jacked, like shredded.
Yeah.
And I mean, just his leg lock setup was just on point.
You know what was really weird is when I went to the bracket reveal, which, by the way, a bracket reveal is what we're calling it. I feel like we were supposed to get some balloons and shoot at them and be like, it's blue! That means Buchecha starts. So instead, when they kept being like a bracket reveal, they like, next year we're going to do it with a cake. That's what we're going to do. We're just going to take slices out that the athletes can finally eat after shutting it up for so long. What did the experience feel like from the inside, sir?
It was electrifying. The crowd was crazy. It was, just the setup they put up was great. Seth and Sean did a really good job, just coming together.
Probably not.
But it was good to be out there.
They did a job. I mean, that's cool. And again, what I can say is this.
Yeah.
The difficulty from yesterday to today is that yesterday looked like what we've seen before for ADCC. This is just darker with screensavers in the back. But I'm very happy because I think the thing that it does add, just by toning down the color and like doing the emphasis on the mats, is that it has a little bit more of the feel of what we're supposed to feel on TV.
Yeah.
Which is like, okay, it's a little bit more epic. It's a little bit more than just people coming out, because before they would be coming out of high school gymnasiums and you'd be like, no one cares. Like, you felt like you almost were going to have a pickup game of basketball at previous ADCCs break out behind them. So for that, we are helpful and very pleased.
You're referring to the lighting, right? The lighting and like how the mat is set up. This is actually like what they do in traditional wrestling matches. Like, what they do is they always get the mat, the center mat, the master mat, and they always put like a spotlight or something on there. But when you get to like the NCAAs and whatnot, I mean, obviously they don't put the light in there, but they do have the center mat, and then they have the whole crowd just focus on the center of the mat. But
it's insane, dude. And the thing is, I always feel jealous. I feel like we're wrestling's little brother that doesn't get the budget. Like, mom and dad spent all the budget on the early kid, and all of us are just like, so what are we gonna do? And mom and dad are like, mom and dad don't care. Mom checked out 3 kids ago. Because every time I see, like, we just recently had what was it? It was Ben Askren.
Yeah.
Him coming in for the super match. I don't know what the lore is. Do you call it a super fight in wrestling?
No. We just call it a match.
A match. Okay. Yeah. He had a match. Yeah. Super match. I don't know why we started doing that. Whenever we said like super fights, I had a moment when I was starting as a grappler going, what? It sounds like some weird thing that we refer to as like the Super League of Justice Friends get together and they have a match, and it's like, it's super.
It was strictly for entertainment purposes, because obviously in no way, shape, or form Askren was in like wrestling shape, like compared to Jordan Burroughs and all those guys that just finished off the Worlds.
Yes.
Yeah, no, because the Worlds was last weekend for wrestling, and so obviously, like, I mean, just. Yeah, in no way, shape. Wrestling shape was way different than grappling shape, obviously. And obviously, we saw Ben Askren's dad bod, gets stacked against Jordan Burroughs.
He gives goals for people. You know what I mean? Like, here's the fun part is...
He's funny.
I wouldn't go that far. I would say this. He is immensely talented. Like, I don't know that I get excited to watch him fight more now that he's in the UFC because of the possibilities of what he can do.
Yeah.
But if he was in Bellator, I'd be like, you have a certain style.
Sure.
But you're really good at it.
Yeah.
Like, you cannot deny how dominant you are.
Yeah.
So now that you're here, you're trying to have a personality and be goofy and be funny.
Yeah.
And sometimes it just comes off wrong. But he handled his loss very well.
Yeah.
Both times in the recent past, like 6 months.
Yeah.
Because, like, when I saw Burroughs, I was like, yeah, dude, I don't know a lot about wrestling, but I know this guy.
Yeah.
This man is in his prime. This is a specimen.
Yes.
And not like you're bad at this.
Yeah.
It's just a different level of where we are now. Maybe years ago it'd be a different equation, but we're not at years ago.
Yeah. Because believe it or not, Ben Askren was actually one of the most elite wrestlers in the NCAA division. Yes. I mean, he was the king of scrambles. He was like, you can literally like, I mean, I think he has a DVD or something like that on like scrambling. But anyway, I mean, he was obviously a great wrestler back then, but he was one of those wrestlers where, like, okay, he would force you to shoot on him, and then that's his game. He goes into scrambling from there. So it's not like he would shoot on you and emphasize like offense. No, it's like he would sit there and just wait for you to shoot on him, and then he would just gator roll for your legs, and it was just.
Again, it's like it's so funny because in the MMA context years ago, I was kind of like, he's like, I may never go to the UFC. I'm like, I'm okay. Like I'm good with that, dude. Like you're amazing at what you did, and congratulations to you. And then when he came to the UFC, it was like
way different.
Well, you're just seeing him play a persona of a heightened version of himself.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to be like, dude, I don't think this is you.
Yeah.
But
I agree.
I understand what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just when people are like, he's funny, and I was like, no. Like, comedians are funny.
Yeah, comedians are funny.
You know, Jerry Seinfeld's funny in his way, and he's amazing at it. But Ben Askren is somebody who makes self-aware observations, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And occasionally, like, when I found that even when I'm like, dude, yeah, I'm not going to root against you. I really don't care, whatever. But I'm happy you get the opportunity. However, you're sticking it to Dana. That's fun.
Yeah.
But when I saw that he was going against Dennis and giving him shit, I just go,
yeah.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend. So I guess we're on the same side here, Ben Askren. Oh, God. Dylan Dennis, you suck. I want to bring up something here because look at this. How does the absolute work? Who will Gordon face? Jacob, I'm going to come back to you in a minute on that. But know that I am acknowledging your question because I want to go up one more to Rick Alarcon, who said, how about the Dark Horse Red Jitsu win over Gianni Grippo? Fun story.
That's
reached out to Red. A little busy. So, I brought in somebody to talk about him. So it didn't go without warning that I was like, no, we're going to talk to. And I know that Red very nicely asked at one point if he could Skype in. But the reason why I reached out to him and why I'm glad you're bringing him up is this. He had an amazing performance yesterday, man.
He had a great performance yesterday.
You guys had to have been so proud. You're a teammate. You're somebody who's putting in the work with him. You've been a huge proponent of his for years. How has it been like to watch one of the people that's been like one of your go-to training partners, watching him have a magnificent year?
Oh, we're all proud of him at One Jiu-Jitsu. I mean, just to see him out there, to see all his hard work, just pay off on the big stage of all places. I mean, it was great to watch. It was really exciting. I mean, the coaches, we were all there. I mean, everyone was just loving it. I mean, especially when you got that win over Grippo, because I mean, he's a big name, but we know Red. I mean, for some people, like say for like people who don't really know Red that well or One Jiu-Jitsu. I'm sure they were very surprised. But for us, I mean, for guys that actually put in the work with them and train with them on a regular basis, the coaches, the family, we all knew that, that we expected this. We expect this because, that's just the standard we set for ourselves. It's just a wrestler's mentality. But but I know Red too. Red prepared and he worked really, really hard for this. And I know during, because before that, ADCCs, he had a lot of other big tournaments. He had Kasai, he had Combat Jiu-Jitsu, so he really came through and he was beating big names. So to get this chance against Grippo in the first round and get that W, man, that was like the icing on the cake.
I almost called this the Summer of Red because I was like,
Summer of Red.
This dude had one of the best summers I think I've ever seen. And it started with that momentum he was building. And I mean, like I said, I was watching him and I knew more of him just by proxy of you because one of the things I will compliment you about is you really do hype your crew. Like you are always putting them in. You're very complimentary of your training partners. And I know a lot of guys do it, but like there's something to be said about this guy has so many more opportunities, so many people in his corner now that when he gets to kind of like take it in yesterday, that he's actually with a small group of people at dinner. And it's, to me, that means a lot because you could see like a big team coming together and like a whole thing. But it's like that crew that has been with him was going to dinner with him.
Yeah.
And it's like, to me, that holds like a special meaning. So when I saw like you guys, like a little small crew got together last night for dinner, I was just like, look how dope that is. That's what you want when you're competing at that high of a level.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you have all these people who could come on and be like, yo, yeah, dude, you're amazing. I've just, I've been watching you for years. And it's like, no. He knows, and so I appreciate that about you guys.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I mean, it's all love between between all of us at One Jiu-Jitsu. We come together for a great cause because it literally took a whole village. It literally took like everyone at One Jiu-Jitsu to come together and really, really help Red prepare for this. And obviously, Red's a beast, and so sometimes in order to to prepare a beast, you got to put lines in there. So,
I was also about to ask this because
Yeah.
I know all of your guys' worker mentality, but I was sincerely curious about this, especially when you talk about competitive drive.
Yeah.
Did you notice a change once he could feel it in the room and how you were training with him? Did you notice that he was like taking it up a level? Because they don't even have to say it, they just do it.
It's funny you say that because when I first started training with Red back when we were like I think I was like we're both blue belts at the time, and I've been Red's training partner for a long time. So when I would roll with Red, we would slowly pick up that intensity. We had that mentality, that attitude, that drive. But then I felt like once we became One Jiu-Jitsu, and then that's when he met my brother. That's where it got kicked up. Because my brother Jason is a beast. That kid's a machine. He doesn't stop.
I know. On paper, he was a blue belt for a while. When I was seeing him wreck blue belts, and I was like, can we just
Yeah, and top it off. So there'll be times where because I'm not gonna lie, there's some things I feel like my brother does better than me, and my brother without a doubt he's a machine. I think my brother's twice the wrestler I am. So he takes it to Red like hard. So I think that when you just add the combination of the three of us and then you throw in some other teammates in there, it gets pretty. It could be a very, very dark place. Well, but I mean that in a good way too.
Of course. And you guys couldn't be nicer as human beings, so I don't think anybody's confused about that. Yeah. It's just a matter of, when you interview people, sometimes you get maybe 10 minutes to know them, right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes you pick up on things that don't make it into the interview. Mm-hmm. But when I saw him and I was like, hey man, this is a really big moment. Congrats on the whole thing.
Yeah.
I looked at him and I was like, we're going to be doing this again pretty soon. Mm-hmm. And to go from winning the qualifier to then winning the tournament was like, okay, he's not done yet here.
He's not done.
He's still going. And then to see like Kasai picked up on it too, to the point where it builds that momentum where it's like pretty soon he finds out he's in here too. Mm-hmm. And it's like, dude, whatever you were taking for 2019, keep doing that, dude. Yeah. Because that in itself. So I was just curious because I was like, yo, I see it just from interviewing him. Yeah. I don't know what room looks like for you guys, but I could make a guess or two.
Another thing about it too is that kid, Red, he wakes up every morning at 5 a.m., goes to strength and conditioning, plus goes to work with his dad. Yeah. They run a business, works all day, and then has to, fight traffic. And he fights traffic every day, but he fights traffic all the way from Lakewood to go all the way to Irvine to train.
Dog, I know because I'm up at those hours.
Dude, you're up there too.
I do it in a different way. I'm not beating people, crushing them. I'm just training.
You got that downtown LA traffic right there.
But I know this with him, which is I see him up, which always tells me like this is a person who grinds like I do in a different way. So I'm always oh, dude, do your thing. And sometimes I'm like passing out from editing, and I'm like seeing him just getting up, and I'm like, oh God. Godspeed to you. But the difference is if I wake up early or I'm staying up late, I'm grumpy. Like I'm just a person.
Well, that explains a lot.
No, it's like you're gonna get a surly version of me at both AM and PM.
Yeah.
But Red's always like, yo guys, I was just thinking about today. Positivity. Let's go get this bread kind of stuff. And I'm like, hey guys, I'm going to sleep and I hate you all. And I want you to know that I may love you, but I still hate you. Good night, everybody. So I feel like he and I have like almost antithetical messages that we're sending out on a daily basis. But
absolutely,
let's do this, dude. Let's remind the people where they can find out more information or pick up tickets or, contribute or do whatever it is they can for that great super fight that you got coming up, man.
Yes. If you go under, it's a USKO Fight Night. It's going to be this coming Saturday, October 5th. It's going to be at USKO Training Center in Riverside. And you can get tickets. It's www.uskotraining.com. And we also have a USKO location here in Anaheim. You're more than welcome to drop in. We have everything you need, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, and you can find us at A Brothers Wrestling as well. And yeah.
And by the way, we were trying to figure out where we were going to do this. And it's a tall order because when people are like, yeah, cool, how long are you going to be here? And I was like, as long as ADCC goes on. And Rich was very nicely offering it as a secondary option because if you know me, I don't just secure one location. I usually make a lot of contingency plans because who knows what things might come up.
Who knows?
On any given day. And that some days you might have to, fix things as they come up. No. It's just things come up sometimes.
I feel bad. I feel bad too. Mike John is just sitting there, just waiting to get warmed up, and it's like I know he was waiting for a fight. And
here's what he said about you, though. I did tell him this. I said, "Hey, dude, I'm gonna put a bounty on you." Mike John is a crazy human being who was like, "I'm just down for whatever, dude. I just want a super fight." And I was like, "People don't want to roll with you." And I was like, "You, him, Albert, these guys who are literally stand-up dudes who go." I don't need details. We don't need to discuss anything more. Just tell me who and where and when. And to me, I'm always like, you go on my list. You go on my list of if I know something's going on and somebody asks me a question, take them. They're not going to give you things. They just want a match.
Yeesh.
They just want good competition. So when I told him, I was like, yo, Rich is coming, but I don't, and plus Marcus's thing, and I don't want to step on that. And he was like, dude, I would love a role with Rich. So he had a lot of great respect for you. But again,
Mike John's
I was like, you guys kind of are in the same boat. Like you're training, you cross train a lot. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, am I just like setting up a super fight or am I just setting up a webcam at your guys' normal training is what I'm doing here, So maybe in the future we'll put something together with
and
the two
if
of you.
you don't know Mike John, believe me, you'll get to know him. This guy is an absolute beast. I've actually rolled with him before at 10 Planet Orange. You can also check him out. He's at the world famous 10 Planet Orange. This guy is relentless. He doesn't stop. He just keeps coming after you. Like I was like heavy handing his head. I was just going heavy hand, just beating on his head, and he just kept coming after me. He just wouldn't stop. He just kept coming, attacking. Took me down, and so mad respect.
I was about to say, I was like, when you get a wrestler to be like, he took me down. We don't need to talk anymore about it.
Hey, I give respect where respect is due. Mike John is a beast, and if you don't know, he's going to be coming up, and you better look out. You better be afraid. Love.
There was money exchange for the two when we say these things to each other. I think it is my role as a journalist to be honest and forthcoming.
He paid me with Hostess.
Well, anyway, Rich, again, I thank you so much for making the time to come, dude. And again, thank you for even offering your place, offering to super fight. You're always just a welcoming and nice presence, and I look forward to seeing your match with Marcus, man.
Oh, thanks a lot. Appreciate the love, man.
All right, dude. Well, awkwardly get out now.
I'm out.
All right.
Let me high step out of here.
I was about to say, we got some high stepping going on. Sir, thank you so much for your time, bud. All right. Just to let you know that in the time that we conducted that interview, not much has happened on the match between Mateus and Craig Jones. Now, granted, they've moved to different places, but if you're looking at the score, 0-0. So, just to let you guys know, thank you for moving the screen out of the way. Yeah, dude, there's a lot I can't see that I have some obstructed viewing on some levels. So here's the good news, though. I feel maybe by the end of this, Craig Jones will have sweat out the pink eye. But, dude, I don't know if you guys are picking up on this, but Craig Jones looks like he's been in a 5-round fight. Just not based off of his tiredness, which, by the way, this is not easy to do. But it looks, given his eye stuff and the weekend that he's kind of already had here, it just looks like he's already like taken a couple fists to the face. So what you're seeing is a dude who is basically working his best way through adversity. So we do have a lot of respect for him. Here's what we're going to do in a little bit. We're going to stay with you as long as we can, just to kind of clue you in on how the sausage is made. Facebook basically stops their recordings for live simulcasts after 4 hours. So in the next maybe 10 or so minutes, what we're going to do is we're going to take a momentary lapse and then we're going to start a new stream on Facebook. So if you shared it once, why wouldn't you share it again? Because we're still not done here. We've got finals. We got the whole absolute to go through. I still haven't had pizza. That's how I'm committed to this thing. We still have special guests who are going to be coming in and checking in with us. So you don't want to go anywhere. You don't want to miss out on any of the analysis or the nonsense that we have. And at this point, you might be vested for two reasons. One, you want to see how the brackets play out. And two, and this is the one we're banking on, you're just lazy. Like at this point, we probably feel like you're just like sitting on your couch and being like, well, I guess I might as well watch with these dummies. And we are those people. Leche Films asked, anyone have a link? Okay. To what? Because I know for sure you better not be sharing a fucking stream in my fucking feed. Y'all DM each other for that shit. Don't make me an accomplice on this. We've done so good at not showing a single frame of video of whatever it is they're doing so that we are legally not ever on the hook. I think. I'm not a lawyer. Anyway. You know, it's kind of weird. Wait, who sponsored this one? 99? Or this is 88, sorry. This is 88 BJJ Fanatics. Oh, maybe you could pick up a Craig Jones DVD. Maybe we're going to talk to BJJ Fanatics and say, hey, Craig Jones fans on BJJ Fanatics, maybe we could have an Overcome the Pink Eye Adversity DVD. I'm telling you this because when I did go up to him, I'm very, very sad that I did this. But normally Craig Jones and I have a dynamic where I'll be like, look at you, Craig Jones. And he'll be like, look at you, ref. Get out of here. I'm from Australia. And then he does that. I looked at him and I go, you can't be here. And I was joking with him. And I didn't know that his eyes were still messed up. So I'm not sure if he took that seriously. And he never takes anything seriously. But I'm not sure if he meant being like, oh, shit, Raph knows that I have the pink eye. Oh, no. And I was just like, afterwards, I think somebody came up to me and they go, Craig still has it. And I go, no, why? No, that's so terrible. Now I feel terrible doing that. But instead, we have a Craig Jones looking at the time, which I will do as well with 5:43. Thank you now for 5:34 left to go in this. I want to say hello to Marcelo De Paoli, who is my BJJ instructor. Don't blame him for how bad I am. But he is saying hello and that he is from Brazil. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. It looks like, things are continuing to happen, though, on the lines. I believe you guys are seeing the end result. I mean, the fact that we still have 5 minutes in this match tells you a lot about the history of ADCC. Many of you wonder what the difference is between some of these matches when you see them for 5 to 10 minutes, or, God forbid, you go to the trials and they happen in 6 minutes. So it really does tell you that when they give you the final opportunity, they want to give you the opportunity to get that submission. That doesn't always happen. Sometimes you get a little bit of the push and shove competition. Sometimes you get a great match of individuals who are just testing themselves in one of the most grueling formats. Even as Craig Jones is very, very desperately looking for that Kimura lock just so that he can get maybe a sweep or just get a little bit of space of Mateus, who just seems to be putting it on him. And guys, this is the worst part. This is how they look right now, and we haven't even gotten to the finals of overtime. Oh, this is overtime? I thought we were still in regulation time. I was doing an interview, you dicks. I was multitasking. I love what I can see in the feed on delay that I'm like yelling at you, but I see the look on my face like, shut up. I don't need this right now. Okay, we'll disregard all that. Got to go. I'm going to eat some real... Gotcha once I'm down here. Awesome. Marcelo, it is good to see you, my man. I will be back in training after this is all said and done. I'm going to hibernate probably for a couple days. There's going to be a lot of sleep. I'm going to tell people to just give me as much food as possible, and then I'm going to go find a cave, and then I'm going to, go away for a couple days. So we're at overtime now. Yes, we are. Okay, I see it now. And Mateus is now up 2-0. He also has a negative. I don't know. You can call it a negative advantage or a negative. I see Mike Columbus over there. Congrats on your black belt. What's that? We should call him demerits. That's actually a great idea. We should make that happen.
One demerit for behavior.
Of course, one of the great things that you see, I know that Craig has been working on his wrestling a ton just because you have to with this, especially when you have somebody as powerful as Mateus who can kind of bully you around. So this wrist control has been everything. Now trying to play mercy with them, don't want it. Craig Jones pulls them away, and the two of them exchange hands. At one point, this is kind of where you wonder, do you eye poke somebody who, their eye's already halfway there, so just finish the job? It's almost like you're doing them a favor, right? A nice chin strap grip. One of the weirdest things about Craig Jones was his use of guillotines throughout the tournament as well. That was pretty interesting. We always talk about Josh Hinger. He's not the only person who does a guillotine, everybody. Who's that? John Danaher? Are we talking? Oh, he's just like using the force to move them. What he does though. Oh, Octavio, can we do it again? I want to show this video. Yeah. Where is the thing? This is still my favorite clip in the world. Again, if you guys have any way to meme this in terms of what you would like me to do with it, I'm all ears. But all I know is I've looked at it. I've laughed a number of times just at the face of it. Ladies and gentlemen, here I give you, let me know when we're up and running, John Danaher eating popcorn. I don't know what to do with this. I want to show it again. Let's do it one more time. If you guys have a meme idea on this one, I'm all ears.
Rotational finish.
This, like, I can't tell you why I enjoy this so much. But I don't often see something of Gordon's that he puts up that I go, yup. Definitely downloading that nonsense because that's going to come in handy at some point. I feel like that's how John Danaher reads comments in the comment section. Just him being like, the salt composition here is poor. To all of you guys, if you don't remember to do this, please do. We are asking that if you haven't followed at Grappling Hour on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch, on Instagram. Did I say that one already? Periscope, and the rest. Go ahead and go and follow us there as both Craig Jones and Mateus crawl their way back like strippers looking for dollar bills to the center of the mat. All right, here's what I'm going to ask you guys. Ooh, face push. I mean, we're getting down to the nitty-gritty on this one. Craig Jones only has 1 minute to make it happen. He also has a negative. So even if he ties it up, that means that we're going to have to go to another round of overtime. So we need some sort of ridiculous finish for him to get here in order to even be considered to keep this thing going, to keep it alive, because a sweep is not going to be enough. Right? Points wise? It's 2? Or is it 3? JK, I don't know. Let me see. Waiting on the third part, Eddie Starch's Devour system to come through from BJJ Fanatics. Thanks, Big Ben. Appreciate that. All right, just to remind you again, it seems that once we finish up... Ooh! Craig Jones trying to secure this armbar, does not get it, slips out. Too slippery with 11 seconds left to go. Tries desperately for a guillotine here. He keeps getting pushed down, at which point it's almost looking like strikes from Mateus at this point, who's just not even force or rape choking him, just slamming him back down like he's some hooker that owes money. No, he just get -2 for that, probably for aggression toward the end. But why would you kiss him? With the pink eye? I don't care if you have respect or not. This man is contagious. Mateus. Yeah. I'm so sorry, Jared, but you're going to have to give respect to one Brad Newmeyer. Brad, congratulations to you. You are the winner. You get a pick of 1 DVD and 1 DVD only. From BJJ Fanatics, we're very excited for you guys. This is so dope. I can't believe they would give us a DVD. Why they would do that, I'm not really sure. Maybe you'll see me on there at some point. Not for an instructional.
You're releasing an instructional?
Actually, you know what? I should. I take that back. That stroke light is too much. At least have it go on for another 10 seconds. No. Jesus Christ. Who the hell is pushing these buttons? They probably are. Because in the past, I have definitely sent notes.
It's a dude with the switch.
I've definitely sent notes to people doing commentary that usually say something to the effect of, stop sucking. Anyway. Oh, God. No one wants to talk to you, Kenny Florian. Your hair is too nice. You have to look like me before they want to talk to you.
Why'd you go interview your model wife? Go fuck yourself.
And for a split second, though, it did look like Kenny Florian wanted to talk to Craig Jones more than he did Mateus. He's like, I know you didn't win, but I want to talk with you, Craig Jones.
He's chasing the good interview.
There's a thumbs up over here from Mateus. I'm going to give you guys the best of a synopsis of just reading his mouth before we close on out this one. Are we going to get some insights as to how the absolute fashion trends Yes, we are probably going to get our good friend Kevin Phillips to come back on and give us some insight on that. Kevin, if you hear that, I'm putting up the bat signal for the next segment. But yes, Mateus is probably talking a lot about respect and it being hard, and he's so happy. And Kenny Florian's like, yo, look at my hair. I still got it, right? And he's like, yeah, you do, bud. Well, that concludes the first portion of this telecast. We're going to take a momentary break to get some food. At us. You know when they say don't at me? No, at me. On all of the major social media platforms. Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, Periscope. It's not a big one, but I mean, a lot of you are actually watching on there, which is surprising to me. YouTube, at Grappling Hour on all of those. And of course, if you aren't following us on Facebook, you dumb. So do us on all of those things, and we will be right back in approximately 5 minutes. We'll see you in just a second.